What is happening, gearheads? This is your boy, J-Man. Jay Sign. I'm sorry to be away so long. I was at the same fat camp as Kriggers. It's good to see you again, Kriggers. Kriggers was such an inspiration at camp. He hit that Ozempic hill every day at the break of dawn. On mashed potato Mondays, he would take a bunch of taters and smash them on his head as he jumped up on the table and yelled, "I have hair again." Anyway, I'm back, I'm in shape, and ready to go. Just like your host, a man who has now given Stuttering John more money in Super Chats than he could ever win in any IQ contest. Your host, Blind Mike Geary.
Love the intro to that. Good to have Jerry back.
It's nice to have it. He's Jack too, which is always
It was a good line too, the super chat line, which we'll get to. And I'm not just complimenting the intro because it seems like Hackride is on the brink of taking his own life.
Yeah,
I genuinely enjoyed
it. Hey, poor guy. He's going through a lot.
He's I don't know what it is. He seems off, but he's doing great work. I think he thinks I'm mad at him or something. But
again.
I have no idea. I get a message. I did WATP yesterday. It should be up by the time we're done here. That should be up wherever you get podcasts. So go listen to that. So when I get out, I see I have a couple messages from Hackride, and those messages are followed up with, "Remember when we used to talk?" I was doing something. So I hope Hackride's doing well. Craig, on the other hand, right on schedule, like a fully functioning clock. You can always trust him.
Get everything in on time.
It is clockwork. That, I mean, I would say once a month. Craig has two responsibilities on Why You Laughing, and I don't know which is more important. One, we wouldn't be able to play clips. The show gets up because of Craig, so that's. I think an important role that he has there. I would say almost more important that once a month he takes my breath away with something so remarkably stupid that I can't imagine it was contributed to the show. I almost think I'm not in a reality.
Which one is? Oh, the bit thing.
Yes, yes, of course, that's what I mean.
that was me being genuinely fooled the first time I watched it.
Folks, I'll try not to spoil it, even though Craig certainly did. See if you can pinpoint the moment that had me wondering, has the man ever listened to a podcast before? Never mind been on one. Has he ever heard how anything works?
I was fascinated.
Oh, I think, Mike, I think you might be going somewhere with this. Yeah. Oh, gee, do you, Craig?
You could be on to something here.
It was, we finally did Andy Kaufman on Why You Laughing. So go check that out and see if you can. It takes a keen eye, I got to say. It takes someone very observant. I don't know. You guys probably won't pick up on it. This fucking Clydesdale running through a game of dominoes.
That's exactly what it was.
Yes. So the gang is functioning on all cylinders. I did say we would get to your guys' questions. I didn't see a ton of great questions, but we'll get to those at the end, maybe. You can also super chat questions if you'd like. But mainly, you can support the show at blindmike.net. You can go wherever you find podcasts. All the links are there for the Blind Mike Project, Why You Laughing, and Who Are These Socials. So you can support the show for free on all platforms. Subscribe on YouTube. If you guys listen, like on Spotify or whatever, but you use YouTube still, subscribe to the YouTube. And if you usually watch on YouTube, subscribe on your podcast platforms. It helps the show. I'm losing my voice. And if you want to go even an extra mile to support the show, you can become a YouTube member. Right now, if you're watching on YouTube, you can become a member or subscribe on Patreon. You get bonus Why You Laughings. You get Quincy, which I think I've built on our Quincy announcement, by the way, which we'll get to later in the show as well.
Ooh.
So that's something to look forward to. I think we have an idea for a live show that will happen in 3 years or something.
I think a year. I think it's like 18 months probably we're on schedule for.
But yeah, I think we can make it a good one. So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, go to blindmike.net. That's where all our links are. We appreciate it. I think out of the gates, we should start with a Mr. Stuttering John Melendez, no?
Why not? Have to.
Guys, I've been waiting. You know I've been on pins and needles, really thinking this IQ test was going to happen.
Yeah.
It seems like I'm yet again left on the steps with my glove and ball, thinking Dad's going to come home and we're going to have a catch. Because John has left me out in the lurch. He's abandoned me. I really thought it was going to happen. Doesn't seem like it. So are you aware of what's been happening with Mr. Melendez, Craig?
I've just seen on Twitter that he like quits and then comes back and then quits and then.
Yeah, so his YouTube channel got shut down because someone he sent the link to someone, the StreamYard link to join the show.
Oh, is this the thing that popped up with the girl shitting and stuff?
Yeah. Someone was screaming the N-word.
Yeah.
Advocating for an assassination attempt on our president.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, I don't understand how I will say, I'll defend John here for a moment. How is YouTube not a little more lenient on that? Like, I understand it's an idiotic thing to just send your fucking link to whoever, but that's not John's fault. Some maniac came out. John didn't want that on his air. He tried to shut it down as fast as possible. Why take his channel down for a week? That doesn't seem odd.
I don't know about why that is, and I also don't get the point of saying your video is for 18 plus if you're gonna,
Oh, YouTube! I mean, YouTube really is terrible, and I think we can owe it all to them getting in bed with professional sports.
Yeah,
I think because they're making deals, they have a Sunday Ticket now, and I think they have free NFL games, and they're trying to get baseball. I think because of that, that's why you're seeing little comedy specials are getting demonetized for saying the C word.
We can't get fully monetized on anything anymore right off the bat. Everything is always has problems.
Everything is limited. Everything we do here, folks, support the show. Go to blindmike.net, support the show. Because every fucking video we post on YouTube is at least limited ads. And we don't always know why. It's because of language most of the time.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's videos where we play nothing that's copyrighted. The Hassan Minaj thing, by the way.
It's news.
Someone messaged me. I think it might be one of the questions we have on Patreon today. Someone said, "Hey, Mike, have you addressed the Hassan Minaj issue? I think you'd have an interesting take on it." It's funny you say that, because not only did we talk about it in the show, we posted the segment, and the segment for a while literally had 0 views because YouTube was suppressing it. Am I gone now? What happened? Oh, boy.
Hello.
What the hell's going on?
I have no idea what happened. But yes, Hassan Minaj, we got booted for news. Go.
Is that now? Can I assume what happened there? Is this were you on your phone? Is this Craig not paying attention? Have I bored you already, or is that later in the show when that starts up?
No, I went to turn my volume up, and then you just started coming through my computer audio.
Yes,
so I fixed it.
All right, good. I'm sure that'll be. Hello, cringe of the week.
Hey,
Carl will have fun with that.
Yeah, probably.
Anywho. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, YouTube sucks. How ironic that mid rant is when we lose everything.
Yeah, that was them. That was an inside job.
All right. Anyways, let's get to Stuttering John. Enough defending Stuttering John. His YouTube channel should not have been taken down. That was ridiculous. But he's back with vengeance, with the fire of 10,000 suns. And here's what John does: is he gets super amped up. They shut him down for the week, so now he has a cause to come back. And what does he come back with? Oh, these are some heavy accusations. Turns out Carl posted a link to his audiobook on Carl's Patreon. Can you believe that?
Still.
Can you believe that?
I can't believe he's going there.
I was trying to think of an analogy, and I was thinking of this earlier, where the last time, not the last night, because I think he was on this week. I think he was on. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, one of the recent times that Portnoy was on KMS, Kirk asked him about me, and he was like, "Nah, I don't really hate Blind Mike anymore." The reason for that is because the thing he hated me over happened so long ago that he doesn't think about it anymore. So now he's at a point in his life where he doesn't think about me ever. Thus, he doesn't have a fiery hatred for me. Time heals no wounds with John. You know what I mean? Like, he still has the same grudges from years ago, and unless you have kissed his feet and made up, then he'll never forget that or forgive it. It's crazy. He latches onto these things, and still to this day, he's as angry. Actually, he's angrier today about this thing that he made up that Carl posted his audiobook on Patreon. John's angry about it today than when he thought it happened originally.
Put together,
What the hell's
blind
going
Mike.
on?
We're going in order of the videos.
Oh, you've decided we're playing clips now.
Oh, I thought we were.
I was done.
I thought we were talking.
I guess I was done, guys. You thought that's when you should have played? That was literally mid-sentence.
I am literally staring at my board, making sure whatever the hell just happened didn't happen. Sorry.
Oh, Mike's almost at a point. Now seems like the time where I should play a clip that has nothing to do with what he's saying.
All right, ready for this?
This seems like... No, I'm not ready. I wasn't even close to ready for the clip.
No, I was gonna say I'm gonna take a deep breath here and just trust my board's gonna work.
Boy, people were... I think now you're... What's the word I'm looking for? You're making these criticisms I've seen come to fruition. Now you're purposely not paying attention.
I'm paying attention. I pay attention all the time.
Well, 1000%, right, gang?
Hey.
All right. Now Craig's dying to get to these clips, apparently. So I guess I'll jet ahead. Well, no, I wanted to say one more thing about John's return. Is like he's also so predictable in that I don't know if you're gonna be able to believe this.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like his relationship with Vinny too good to be true.
Oh, it's not real friendship. Weird.
Well, we're not there yet, but John did. He's starting the cycle that he always has, where he's best friends with somebody, and then he'll say, "Now I like this guy. I still like this guy, but here are all my criticisms that I'll get really angry about when I decide I don't like him anymore."
Just know this is coming.
Yeah, and I said this to Carl yesterday that if I wanted to, I could end his relationship with Richard Ojeda.
Oh, for sure.
Simply by having Richard on the show every week. That's all we'd have to do.
Yeah, and he would come on.
Yeah, and he'd gladly come on, and then slowly but surely, that something would creep into John's world where he's like, Richard, why do you hang out with this guy? And then that would happen a few times, and Richard would say he likes us or whatever, and then eventually John would disown him. Like, I have the power to make that happen. That's how easily John's life is manipulated. That even someone like me has power over him.
You know, that guy, he voted for Trump, and I just can't look past it anymore.
Which guy?
Ojeda did.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's true.
That would be the argument.
That's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so we saw that cycle, John just repeating himself over and over again, and it's crazy. But something else he repeated was his ability to issue a challenge and then completely back out of it. Because he never actually wanted it to happen to begin with. His mouth was just writing checks he never intended on cashing. Literally, actually. He wrote a check for $10,000.
That's right.
So if you guys don't remember, John challenged me. He said he would put up $10,000 to my 1,000. Not great odds. I don't have like DraftKings or anything like that. I'm not a great odds maker myself. Mm-hmm. But it seems like negotiations shouldn't start at 10 to 1. No, especially if you're likely to lose. But
say it again.
We're ready. You know what? We're ready. Fine.
That one made sense.
Fine. I'll quit yapping. Let's just hear the clip.
Put it together, blind Mike, and I'll take it.
Oh, well, this is what I would have liked to finish setting up. Is that I said it seemed, John has quit podcasting and he's come back and he's gone to Jamaica and he's been reborn and all this stuff. In that time, I've noticed I've been neglected. I said, John doesn't seem like he's, rolling up his shirt sleeves and getting to work on this IQ test. Has he forgotten about me? So I wanted to remind him. Hackride's been doing a good job of that himself. But I wanted to remind John, Hey, when's this IQ test happening?
Hey, put it together, blind Mike, and I'll take it. I'm gonna kick your ass.
He sounds, but now he sounds dismissive, as if I started this.
This wasn't you?
He's like, oh, Mike with this IQ test. Come on, Mike.
Blah, blah, blah. Mike.
Oh, this guy won't shut up. John, you issued the challenge.
I will say, I think his odds did go up after the haircut and shave. I will give him that.
You think he looks smarter now?
Yeah. He looks he looks like a substitute teacher again.
Well, that's another thing, is he keeps saying that he's been fired from the substitute teaching job. And he said that Bob Levy's the one that got him fired. Now he's like friendly with Bob Levy again. So he says, actually, I don't know who got me fired. I mean, it's wild. A psychologist would have a field day with this fucking guy. It's crazy.
If you're blind, how do you? I don't know.
Okay, let's go back just a little bit, because I want to examine that for a moment.
Let's get this. Let's get
I want to examine that, where he's about to attack my disability. That's his instinct.
He is.
Which I'm totally fine with, by the way. Feel free, John. You're more than what you have my carte blanche. You have my permission. But he's about to go after, question whether or not I'm actually disabled or whatever he's going to say. That's the John that was born into the world and that was on the Howard Stern show for years. Then what you see is liberal John reacting and saying, I've backed myself into a corner where I can't criticize this disabled guy because I have made it my thing that you shouldn't make fun of disabilities.
That argument I got into. I really pigeonholed myself.
Yeah, he's done this all to himself. And what's so fascinating about John, and I think Hackride pointed this out to me, is that he wears every thought on his face.
Oh, yeah.
You can watch John go the layers of emotions and internal examining that he does. He wears it all on his expression, so you can see him go through this turmoil as he, mid-sentence.
Ass, by the way. If you're blind, how do you? I don't know. I can barely figure out how to super chat. How the hell can you? Mike Huntsmells.
Now, on the more serious business, Mr. Huntsmells. Mike Huntsmells. This is a man, I gotta say, this is a lot more about me, because here's where I'm at in life, is that a man who, in earnest, reads Mike Huntsmells and is about to get into whatever, interesting thing Mike has to say. This guy thinks he's smarter than me.
Anyways.
He's certain he's smarter than me at a 10-to-1 ratio.
What a perfect name to segue to.
Anyways, listen, you're going to lose. I'm a person of high intelligence. I've got a high IQ. Anyways, Mike Hawk, what do you have to say for yourself?
Bend over. Thanks for the $5.
Ah, Mr. G. Rection is back. How are you, Hugh? This guy's claiming literally Einstein numbers. He says he has a 160 IQ. This fucking guy. But we've almost lost the point. What's most infuriating about that clip is John issues a challenge. John says, hey, 10-to-1, take an IQ test with me. I say, okay. He says, you set it up. He says, I want to make you take an IQ test. And also, I'd like to give you a full-time job of planning some event with me in Florida or California or wherever I live. I'm like, John, you do it. This is a teaching moment, John. We're trying to help you become an adult at age 60. You issued the challenge. You set it up. Or admit you have no interest in doing this, which is what I feared from the beginning. I know.
Shit.
Hackride thought I was crazy for thinking this may never happen. But I suspected from the beginning that John never wanted to do this. It was just bluster. That's what John is. He's all bluster. And he throws shit out there that he never intends on backing up. Now, if he knew that about himself, then I'd be fine with it. But the issue is he's still pretending he wants to do it. He has no interest in taking this IQ test with me.
Well, the longer he doesn't do it, the more he can be like, I'd wipe the floor with this blind guy.
And he's gonna say like, "Oh, I told him to set it up." So now it's gonna become my fault now that we haven't done it. John, you're not gonna issue a challenge, call me dumb, and then also give me a job to do.
I could fly
That's
to
not how it
Florida.
works.
I could use a tan right now.
I'll go to Florida if you want me to, I guess. But you have to do it, John. And if I set it up, then that comes with a whole other litany of issues where he's going to accuse me of cheating in some way. So I want no part of setting this up, John.
Yes, the blind guy is going to cheat on the test.
Well, yeah. That's the other thing too. Is if John, John's trying to be a hero of the disabled, how would I schedule it? How would I do all this, John? I'm just a disabled boy.
Stunned, you can do a super chat. Now, can you set up a big test and live event?
That's the other thing. We didn't even talk about that. Where he says he doesn't know how to super chat. First of all, John, it's very easy. I see well enough to do it myself, but also I have software on my phone that reads to me and allows me to move around the screen through audio. It's not that difficult to figure out for a person of high intelligence. Much like super chatting, where my understanding is you hit the little button at the corner of the comment bar.
Not only that, not only that,
super chat, I believe, is how they hide it on YouTube.
The logo you hit to do so is a dollar bill.
Yeah, it's a $. It's all very confusing, John. I understand. It's tough to decode. YouTube doesn't want you doing it, so they put it under all of this pomp and circumstance. They make you think, well, super chat, certainly that's not giving money of any kind.
No, it's just like you're my text must be a little bolder this time.
I like that's John's like, there may be more to this kid than I realized moment.
He can super chat.
He's super chatting. Maybe I've made a bad bet.
Maybe he can do math.
But as Jerry Seinfeld said in the intro, I've already paid more money. I've paid this asshole more money to negotiate this thing than I'll ever get from winning.
No shit. That's a fact right there.
All right.
Shall we hit the second one here?
Craig's nervous now.
I don't know why that happened earlier.
Well, you seem off this morning.
A lot going on.
What's the matter, buddy? Israel Palestine got you in a twist?
Yes, I got me in a twist. It's got me in a twist.
Right. Let's so that now Hackride gets involved and tries to look for a little clarity here.
Hackride.
That's always
Thanks
funny.
for the $5. John, you challenged Blind Mike. It's up to you to set it up or have forfeited.
Can I say, by the way, I also sent this and he ignored it. Which is not a good sign for negotiations, if I may submit that.
He's kind of winning this war right now.
He's gone to ignoring me.
Yeah, you just keep paying him.
Yeah, he's made me want this to happen.
How rude!
I had no interest in it. He's like, what am I thinking of? Oh, you ever see the episode of Always Sunny when Flipadelphia?
Yep.
When they challenge their old rival to a game of Flip Cup.
Yeah.
And then they get fixated in the meantime on this new, these college kids. And then by the end, the original rival comes back and he's like, is it on or not? And they're like, nah, we're over it. That's what John has done to me, where I'm like, what the fuck?
It's such a good show. It's such a good show.
Hit the nail on the head.
Well, I haven't seen the old episodes in forever. Like it used to be on Netflix, so I'd go back and watch them all the time. I couldn't tell you last time I saw it.
Fun insight into Craig's life.
Yeah.
Challenge Blind Mike. It's up to you to set it up or have forfeited and owe Mike 10K or 10 hours of co-hosting duties on, period. Now, I challenged him, but he's going to set it up. I ain't setting shit up. We got the time.
Where did you get that idea, John?
I think you should set it up and you should cheat. It would be wicked funny.
But I don't want to give him the satisfaction of doing it for him, of holding his hand through another thing. John, you've been in the business for 40 years or something. You should know how to set up an IQ test and how to make it interesting, how to make it something we could broadcast, that we could both benefit from, or even just make it something you benefit from and make a fool out of me. that should be in your wheelhouse of things to do as a guy who worked on the biggest radio show of all time and the biggest late night show of all time. That should be a thing that's easy for you to pull off. It shouldn't be up to me to accept your challenge that you made up out of thin air. I've never bragged about my IQ. It's never been a thing of mine. I don't know. I don't know where it's become like Mike Geary is some highfalutin, like this guy bragging about his IQ is enough. I got to challenge him.
If he's as famous as he claims, he should have somebody listening that could make this happen.
It should be done in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's an interesting thing that Carl pointed out yesterday. That he said, I forget exactly how he phrased it. It was something to the effect of the overlap of Stuttering John fans and people who listen to Carl is zero. The people that are watching, who are these podcasts and watching John, are there to make fun of him. Like, I think John thinks that Carl has like stolen his fans away or something. So it's people that find you funny to mock. They find John funny to watch, and that's what John doesn't understand. Is he still thinks he's as famous as he was when he was on the Stern Show, which is weird when you have you're rivaling me and Phil Elmore for views on YouTube.
He might actually think he's bigger than he was on the show right now.
Well, I think it benefits him. Like, I think his career, not his life. I think his career, quote unquote, is in a better place because of Carl and Shuley than it would be without them.
Oh, for sure.
Like, he would just be talking into nothing, into thin air, if it wasn't for those guys and, us and whoever, Cardiff and all the people that cover him. If those eyeballs weren't on him, it would just be into the ether, lost forever.
But he's making all his money because people are trying to get him to say stuff that the other shows can talk about.
Yes. $2 at a time.
Yeah. Except for this IQ test. It's really serious.
And that's the other thing, is John, like, at most, John would walk away with $1,000. Who cares?
Maybe he's thinking like splitting the door or something, wherever this is.
But that's the thing, is he's made no inkling that he wants to do it as a live event or anything.
Do you want me to try to set it up?
I don't want to give him the satisfaction of us setting it up.
All right. We could have. We should do it at Ojetta's house.
That I would allow. Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to make it happen.
Neutral party.
Yeah, exactly. He could be the ref.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
See, now we're on to something. Hear that, Hackride? I would reach out, but you're like best friends with him now, so just talk to him.
There's we have one more of these, right?
Yes. There's like
John
5 seconds left in this one. I don't know if there was anything.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
Okay.
I guess not.
Oh, well, he added a lot there.
His face looked funny. I guess we can.
All right. Yeah. So he addresses this one. It comes up once more.
Hackride. Thanks for $5. John, Blind Mike is using part of his 10K winnings from the IQ to buy Wendy, the slow adult, a brand new computer. You're stopping that from happening.
I don't remember agreeing to that. But.
He didn't win any fucking IQ test. Let him set it up and we'll take it. That's it. End the story.
You see, that's what I hate. Let him set it up. Let him. Like, I get the opportunity to set this up now. I didn't want to do this, John.
It's quite literally him doing this just so he can just have it over you and not lose. Because I think he's afraid of that.
Of course he is. He would never allow people to find out what his real IQ is. Because I suspect, you know what? It's lower. Here's the reality of what I believe John's IQ to be. I think he and I would probably not be that far off. Like, I think there's general intelligence in there somewhere.
I think you're being humble.
Maybe, but my point is, I don't think it would be as hysterically low as we want it to be from John.
But what if it is?
That'd be great.
Okay.
But my point is
worth it.
I think it would be somewhat normal. The issue is John has built himself up as a Mensa member, like a true genius. And so he could never allow anyone to find out that it's even if he has an IQ of 110, which I think is pretty standard. he could never allow people to know that.
And he claimed 160, right? Is that
Yeah.
yeah.
He says and I was wondering about this. He said that on Stern, when he was on Stern, he took an IQ test and it was 135. Now, evidently, Howard decided not to release that segment because no one has ever heard it. Like, I don't know where he's getting that because it wasn't. They took an IQ test with Eric the Midget. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do remember another IQ segment where I think it was after John left. Like, John claims he took an IQ test on the Stern show. I can't. Maybe it exists. I haven't been able to find that audio anywhere.
Maybe they would spike it because he did so well. It wasn't funny.
No, that'd be hilarious. If John was the smartest guy on the show, I think that'd be funny.
That would actually be very funny.
Yeah.
Did Stern take one?
Stern's never taken one.
Yeah, no, he won't.
No, because I again, similar to John in a weird way, I don't think he would want people to know what his actual IQ is.
Unless it was
because it might be lower. And, I don't think it would be horrible, but it might be lower than Gary's or something. You
would think he would just. He's on top of pretty much.
Stern's a very vain guy. Stern,
yeah.
Stern. That type of shit. How you come off means a lot to Stern.
That's true. That's true.
That's it. End the story. And I didn't sign the contract anyway.
Oh boy, here we go.
And it's over.
And there's why. Now again, we've gotten into this debate. Why don't I set it up? He's never going to do it. Play that again.
The very end or the whole thing?
Just that end. Just that last line.
That's it. End the story. And I didn't sign the contract anyway.
Oh, really, John? That's John's way of saying, I'll never do this. You can't make me.
Someone's saying both episodes are on YouTube.
Yes, but John didn't participate in either of them, did he?
Let's see what they say.
That's the thing.
Eric the Midget got a 90.
That was long after John was gone, though. Is there one that John participated in?
Yeah, if so, send it to me, please.
Yeah, let us know. Because maybe I just did it wrong. That's just I've never been able to find it, and no one's presented it to me. So
yeah, so it either exists and John knows what the real score is and is pretending it doesn't.
Right.
Well, I feel like that would have been found by now, I would assume.
So yeah, I don't know. Here, the interesting thing about John is like he's endlessly fascinating for whatever reason, but there is an element of it where it's tiring because every day he comes on and says, Carl made fun of my kids and posted the audio of my book. And it's like, okay, well, Carl is telling you he didn't do that. Even if he did.
Is this because he does like the chapter reviews, so he thinks it's the whole book?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. John doesn't think that. He knows that this all started. Here's what I think people forget with all that. This all started, and John admits this now. He did not know what fair use was or transformative content.
Correct.
And he's admitted that. So when this started, John saw Carl post, we're breaking down Easy for You to Say, however it's titled or whatever. Mm-hmm. But John saw that he was doing that and said, they're not allowed to play clips of my book and react to it. John realized he was wrong about that, so he has changed the argument to, you posted my book in its entirety, so people didn't buy it because they could listen to it on your Patreon.
Right.
Which I don't understand that logic either.
I don't understand half the stuff that comes out of his mouth.
I mean, if you have Audible, you could get John's audiobook for free. Why would you pay to get it on Carl's Patreon?
It's a great point. It's probably
not for free, but you know what I mean, for the membership.
It's probably funnier on Carl's Patreon, I would guess.
Well, it is. That's the thing. It is because they comment on it. It would serve Carl no use to be like, "Hey, gang, here's the full book if you want to listen to it."
But you only get to listen to a chapter whenever I say.
I guess. Yeah. So I don't know, guys. I hate to disappoint you, but it seems like the IQ test isn't going to happen. I'm sorry.
I'm stunned.
Yeah. Should we move on to things happening in the world of comedy?
Yeah, where would you like to go?
How about this Bert Kreischer, Rick Glassman thing? Because I thought it was very interesting. This reminded me a little bit less contentious, but it reminded me a little bit of the episode of Louis where Dane Cook and Louis confront each other.
All right. Actually, hold on real quick. Let me get some of these out of the way. We got some super chats here.
Oh, please, yes.
I come buck. It's $2. Mike is a lost kid at the mall when Craig went mute.
Legitimately, because I didn't know. My instinct should have just been to keep talking, but I was like, I'll feel like a real fool. I'm talking to no one right now.
Yeah, because I was there. I could hear you. You couldn't hear me at first. Charles Levitt, $5. Didn't write anything. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. Those are the best kinds.
Yeah. Mark Batista, $5. John went from little Dutch boy to Fred Flintstone with that haircut. That's very funny. Like Samson, he lost his powers. Great show, guys. That's exactly who he looks like, Fred Flintstone. Perfect.
I've heard that, yeah.
Narco 2112, $2. Here's some money. I'm going back to bed.
It's not that early, guys. Jesus.
Dang Lizard, €5. I switched to super chatting John advice. There's nothing more enraging. He learns nothing.
Oh, it's infuriating. I know. I've tried.
He learns nothing, insults me, and I pay money for that. What the hell is wrong with me?
Buddy, we should start a group together to console one another, because I go through the same thing where I'm like, I'm paying this guy money to get annoyed by him.
Charles Levitt, $5. The test on Sammy wrote something. The test on Stern was a bit. Let's give the biggest dope the highest score. He will get less than half of one.
That was my original speculation, that it would be funny to give John the highest score, so they just lied about that. But I haven't even found audio of that.
You probably won't find it. All right. So you want the first bit? This is a movie, correct?
Yeah, so I'll set it up a little bit. The Machine is now on Netflix. And have you watched it yet, by the way?
I was going to watch it today, so if the Patriots are getting their shit kicked in, I probably will watch it.
All right. Yeah, you're not missing much. It's about what you expect, I would say.
I feel like I have to see it at this point, though.
So, Rick Glassman, I find to be a very funny, interesting guy. I've gotten turned on to him recently. I've listened to a few episodes of Take Your Shoes Off. And oddly enough, he actually reminds me a little of Hackride, in the sense that he'll do like animated stuff and little bits throughout the podcast that I feel Hackride would appreciate, which is interesting once we get to the end of this. But he's a quirky guy. He's got autism. He talks about that, where like in recent years he's started to kind of realize how he comes off to people and stuff. Like I found his story in general interesting. And sometimes they're very silly on this podcast, and sometimes they get, deep, and it's more like a therapy type of thing. And this seemed to be an episode where they were getting a little more deep, because Rick has a bit where early on in his podcast, when he didn't have advertisers, he just made a commercial for his dad's carpet business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a really well done commercial. You would think you would see it on TV, because it's like a cheesy rug store commercial, and it's very well done. And the joke is just kind of that it's cheesy. The Machine ends in the end credits. So like Bert Kreischer's dad in the movie is a carpet sale. He owns a rug store or a carpet store. And the movie ends with Bert and his dad shooting a commercial together for the rug store. And so that's where Rick was like, that's interesting. So he had Bert on to kind of talk this out to see where that came from. And I thought it was an interesting discussion that we'll analyze here.
Something happened that to me on surface, and I'm explaining it for audience to understand too, but like something happened where there was something in your movie. I was getting tons of messages, the carpet commercial. I was getting tons of messages saying, oh, that's so cool that Bert paid homage to that, or did you write that, or all these things where it's like people are saying, not that you stole anything, but like, oh, that's your thing, Rick. And I wanted to write back, no, we didn't work on this together, but something felt uncomfortable about it, because I could break it down. It doesn't matter. Maybe we'll get into that. But it's just like, I felt like I don't want to talk about this with other people yet. But it did make me feel like I want to acknowledge it, right? Because I felt bad that like, at least parallel thought. No, that's a coincidence. At the least, I couldn't even say that because I don't know. I wasn't thinking, fuck Bert, this fucking thief. I was thinking, fully being transparent, and this is what I'm talking about, did he take that? Then after I asked that question, I thought, I doubt it. Not no. It was, I doubt it. And if so, was that even Bert? Because I have this rug commercial. I've put it in all my podcasts. I put it in your podcast. I put it in mine with me. But I was also like, Bert doesn't watch his podcasts. Bert doesn't edit it. There's a decent chance Bert's never even seen it. If at all somebody even did take it, I don't know. But what I do know is I want to acknowledge it.
There's a great chance that Bert watches his own podcast.
If there's one guy that watches his appearances, it might actually be Bert Kreischer. But I know that was like great of Rick to be like, hey, first of all, acknowledge it, but also be like, to be honest with you, my instinct was, did he take it? Probably not, but not definitely not. Like, I think that's kind of ballsy to have that direct conversation, and he's not doing it in a shitty way. He's kind of just being honest, and I think that's very interesting. And I think it would be interesting to have, like, if you saw, you know, people like Amy or Dennis Leary have these conversations that have been accused of stealing jokes. I think that would be interesting. I think that would have helped, like, Carlos Mencia early on if they just had that discussion. Like, I like the way Rick went about it, and I wouldn't have thought. I'll tell you this. I've seen both. The rule with Netflix is if we play part of a movie that's on Netflix, they get to rape my closest family member. So we're not gonna play the commercials,
right?
But I've seen them. The similarity is like the tone. You know what I mean? Where like Rick does this so much that you would think it would come up in Bert's world, like, hey, that's very similar to something Rick Glassman does. It's not like a word for word ripoff of a thing, but it does kind of make you think like, huh, that is odd. Now, Bert's a big enough comedian that maybe he just had no idea Rick did this thing. You know what I mean? He's not paying attention to every other podcast.
But isn't his dad also like legitimately a lawyer?
So he says, I don't know if we have the clip or not, but he says, he goes, I didn't write the movie, and my dad's a lawyer. I don't know why they... I think we do have that clip, so I'm not going to repeat everything he says. There's some weird reason that they didn't make him a lawyer. I don't know.
This next one is original reference.
Yeah, so this is they explained it a little more.
I was caught off guard, especially because I was like, oh no, this is... I said in a Rolling Stone article, in 1997... Rolling Stone article was about me. It was a 6.5-page article
bring it
about
up
the number
again.
one party animal in the country.
Mm-hmm.
In the article, they said, what is going to happen to Bert Kreischer? That's how they end the article. Some towards the end. And I said, I'll probably be selling carpets in East Georgia. It was just a hookup we had. There was a guy who could get us jobs selling carpets. I don't mean to like, I'm being serious. I thought this on the right over here. I don't want to mean to like say like that's a bad job because I know your dad sells carpets.
Well,
but
area
like
rugs, fine area rugs.
Yeah. And
I like Rick. I find Rick to be very funny, by the way. Like, he's very good in this.
Very funny response, especially when you like. I know what he's saying too. You're like, I'm not trying to insult anyone here.
Fine area rugs, actually. But yeah, so it was a reference from that what became Van Wilder Rolling Stone article. I guess Bert said like he would sell carpets, so that's why the writer put it in the movie. I think they explain it a little more in the next clip.
so in my default, I was like, I always get a job selling carpets.
Sure.
And so
And you still can, by the way. If you
the,
need help.
the writer took that and put it in and said, I'll just make his dad a carpet salesman. And then
But in the movie or just in the end?
In the
credit
movie.
sequence. So he's a carpet
movie.
salesman in the movie as well.
in the movie, he runs a place called Kreischer Carpets in Southwest Florida. Kreischer's Carpet spelled with a K because it's great branding. There's another joke in there. And so throughout the whole movie, he's a carpet salesman. I don't know. My dad's an attorney. I don't know why they didn't make him attorney. I'm assuming because of legalities. Maybe it was easier to make him a working man. I don't know. I didn't write the script.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you are correct. I never watched your carpet
And the person who wrote the
commercials.
script watched your podcasts and read your articles.
I'm assuming I can't speak for him because he is a writer and I think he's head of the writers guild.
There is something that's relevant about this before it gets into a defensive place, which it can be. My feeling was never Bert stole this from me. I want to get him back or call him out for that. My feeling was I just wanted to acknowledge. I wanted to acknowledge it because, and I think I told you this on the phone, there has been a fair amount of things with podcasts in particular that
you told me a little bit.
This, by the way, this is interesting. People have said this is Andrew Schultz, that Andrew Schultz has started ripping off Rick Glassman, and Rick Glassman has made reference to it in other podcasts. So people kind of thought it was like a joke between the two of them. This is the first time it seemed serious, where Rick is like, no, they've stolen shit from me, basically.
It's not the first time he's been accused of that either.
It's not. But again, this conversation is kind of goes to, it might not be Bert, it's the people that wrote his movie. I think Rick is saying it might not be Andrew, but definitely people on his team have taken some shit.
That I have done, and then other people did. Some of it was coincidental. I know at least one of them, because I heard it was what it was. That was they did. It doesn't feel
funny because I know that guy, and that guy's pretty quick to call out thievery.
But here's the thing, because people are gonna make their implications. It doesn't mean it's the guy. Yeah. Because if your writer, and I'm not saying this hypothetically, if somebody's writer did steal this, you're the face of it. It doesn't mean you did it. I'm not saying it was this guy or this guy. I just know it's somebody in that camp. I just know that part. But it doesn't mean it's the face of it. And that's a tough thing.
I like the way Rick approached this because I find these conversations interesting. And I think what you find at the end of the day, like we said about Dane and Louie, is that probably a bit of everything is true, in the sense that maybe someone on Bert's team or Bert himself had seen this, subconsciously suppressed it, and then when they needed the father to have an occupation, there's some tie into carpet salesman, and then, oh, we should make a commercial. Like that just almost comes out subconsciously without you realizing that you saw what Rick was doing. I think there's probably a lot of that goes on in comedy in general, or just completely parallel thinking where one didn't influence the other. But I like conversations like this because I think it exposes that a little more, because we did a joke-stealing episode of Why You Laughing, which got heated, as I recall.
Yeah.
But I think the crux of that argument was, I don't believe that Bert Kreischer, I don't believe Amy Schumer was sitting in a comedy club writing down jokes. Like, that was the accusation about Mencia, and he's the only one I've ever heard that about. I don't believe anyone is sitting in a club writing down jokes like, oh, this really hit, and I think I could turn this into something. Let me jot it down so I don't forget it. I think it always comes out in some subconscious form, and it seems like that's what Rick is trying to get Bert to acknowledge. The thing I found interesting is, like, Bert doesn't really budge in this whole back and forth. He's kind of like,
he seems
off put by it.
He's not one to deny stuff either. If he gets called out, he's usually like, yeah.
He seemed annoyed by this exchange. That's how I took. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but he seemed annoyed that Rick was calling him out for this.
Well, if he was a car salesman and this guy was like, yeah, you're selling a lot of lemons, I think he'd be like, fuck you, dude. That's my business.
I guess so. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find something equivalent, but
yes,
actually, his whole reputation is him being a comic, and you know, I would hate being accused of that shit.
Yeah.
He's out too.
But it's weird because Bert's not coming out and being like, absolutely. It seems like he's more annoyed that Rick would question him, which I find an odd approach given Bert's general character. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he's generally kind of a fun-loving, silly, he does the laugh and all of that. There was not much of that in this exchange.
No, you can see it in his face. But
annoyed,
here they talk about Barstool.
Yeah, this was just a little interesting dig at Barstool. I'm guessing this is KFC. I don't know who else would be in Rick's world, so I'm guessing this is something to do with Kevin Clancy.
I have this for my sleepover series. I have this animated video game opening. It's intricate. It's beautiful. Shout out to Tom. It's awesome, right? I'm not the first person to ever do retro 8-bit graphic stuff.
Yeah.
But recently, Barstool did this animated intro for a podcast. Parallel thought, perhaps. Who knows? I wasn't the first to do it. But what I don't like is when people message me when they see my thing, which I've been doing for years, and then their thing that they just didn't be like, I'm ripping off Barstool. And that's where I'm like, fuck that, man.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying Barstools took it from me, but I do want to be able to acknowledge and say, which I mean, obviously I'm doing it now, so that was subconscious. I wasn't even thinking I needed to do that, but obviously I did. But my thing is saying, like,
because
I've done it. I've done this.
Yeah.
So when
I know what he's talking about.
What's that?
It was like a promo for the Yak in the case race. They did
really?
They did like a video game version just to promote it. It was a one-off.
Yeah, so I think the point he's making is interesting because he's not saying they took it from him. He's kind of addressing, and this is what I say all the time. There's so many comments on every special that comes out now, or every clip on Instagram or whatever. There's comments underneath it like, this was stolen from so-and-so.
Right.
And it's like, in reality, they both, broached the same topic. Or so, you know what I mean? Like, just because two people talk about fucking jaywalking doesn't mean the bits are the exact same or one was stolen from the other. So that, I think that's what Rick's I find that to actually be interesting because people now are looking for thievery all the time. Like, you see that accusation so much where it's like 99% of the time the one making the accusation is incorrect,
Oh yeah, every time basically. We got to do it. We should probably do a part 2 on the joke stealing.
Probably so. I don't know who we didn't cover that we should, but yeah, we could figure it out.
Next, we have a level of seriousness here.
I don't remember what this is. All right, let's find out.
Know your dad stole carpet. I did not pay attention. I did not think. I did not think of like. I did not think
back to the carpet.
Yes. Yeah.
I did not put the 2 and 2 together only because when you're making a movie, the last thing you're thinking of really is like
everybody else's stuff.
My dad's occupation. It was like I had so many fish to fry.
Hold on. I like that Rick is trying to give him an out and be like, hey, you're not thinking about my bullshit when you're making a movie. And Bert's like, no, actually, attention to detail in the film is the last thing I'm thinking about.
Here's the thing, though. If that article that Rolling Stone put out did end that way with the carpet salesman,
right?
That's definitely where they got it from.
Oh, that's definitely where they made him a carpet salesman or something. The thing in question is the commercial at the end, where I do think like Rick's being a little the idea that they stole it from him. I think that's a little overly sensitive, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. Is like, I like that he's calling him out for it, but 2 people in the world can make carpet commercials,
especially when it's been in an article since '97, which was probably a big deal for this movie.
Right, and I think Bert kind of addresses that a little bit.
My dad's occupation. It was like I had so many fish to fry on that my dad's occupation was like, great, cool, whatever. Let's move it forward. There was like one joke, Kreischer carpets with a K in the movie.
It wasn't just the rug thing. It was the tone.
I want you to understand. Yeah. I want you to understand how I felt and why I was cool with doing this. It's the same way people are saying to you ripped off Barstool. I sat there and told me about this. I went, when our friend,
it'll be bleeped.
Yeah, when he told me about this, I went, you're kidding, right? Like, you're joking. When I got your text, I was like,
but I messaged you before you called him.
I called him right after I got your text.
Right.
I go,
you called him before me.
I go, is this a joke? 'Cause I know you were about bits.
Right.
I go, is this a joke? And he was like, no, it's pretty serious. I went, wait, this is a joke, right?
And we've talked about this, and it wasn't pretty serious.
Well, he said it was.
Well, I believe he believed it was. I don't think he was instigating. I really don't. We talked about that, and I don't want to get in details for people to deduce too much. Yeah. But like, it wasn't. It was.
And you know what? Don't put them side by side, and I'll tell you why.
This is an interesting disclaimer that Bert makes. This is the one thing I thought was a little weird that he's like, hey, don't compare them. Because I thought that was a weird thing to be like, hey, don't let people see how similar they are.
Hey, you want to just sweep this under the rug, please?
Don't put them side by side.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to watching this today.
It's I think you're gonna be more astonished by Mark Hamill's performance than anything else.
That was the most
horrific.
I could have told you that before you even saw it. I was like, Mark Hamill's gonna suck.
Mark Hamill was awful to the point where I can't believe he's in movies. Never mind like a classic film franchise. I can't believe he's an actor.
The biggest franchise in movie history, I think.
If one of the two guys, and I'm not saying Bert was like blew me away with his acting. But if you said only one of these guys has acted before in a major motion picture, I would assume it was Bert, not Mark Hamill.
You know, there's a good chance that I like this movie because it's been talked down so much. It can't be as bad as it is in my head.
Oh, you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, probably. Then I'm gonna go watch some Dane Cook special on HBO.
Yeah. You'll enjoy it. You know what I mean, people?
Don't put them side by side, and I'll tell you why. I want people to go watch my movie.
Sure.
So I'm being serious. I would love to see yours. I've seen yours. I will say, and knowing what we shot and knowing what you shot, yours is better. I see that you're saying,
humble.
What you're saying is that you went for a motif that we definitely ended up hitting that same motif, I think, of cheesy. Like, and that's what you were shooting for. But I liked yours when you showed it to me.
Thank you. But it's not about how good mine is. It is a very similar tone. And I would believe.
I would argue, and I'm just saying this out loud, but I think if your dad had been a car salesman and we had done a car commercial and you had done car commercials, they also would have been in a similar tone. Because there's only a couple ways to sell cars.
Sure.
And there's only a couple ways to sell cars.
It's hard to know what inspiration
You're
came
right.
from
You're
it
totally right.
because
And
you weren't there.
I didn't write it.
And he may have seen it. He may not have
seen it. He may have and may have not. I will not speak.
He wants us to tell this guy to go fuck himself so bad.
He does. And what's interesting about it is I think Bert's kind of right in the sense that, like, listen, there's only so many ways to shoot a cheesy commercial.
Yeah.
The fact that it's carpets made people think, like, oh, that's Rick Glassman's thing.
Yeah, like Gillian Keeves' ISIS Toyota.
Right.
I mean, like, that's how those commercials are shot.
Right, exactly. So if you if there was another joke about a car commercial, you might say, like, oh, you're ripping off Gillian Keeves, but the joke could be something entirely different. Again, I watched them both, and I get the similarities. I don't think anyone said, let's do Rick Glassman's commercial at the end of this video. And you see that frustration with Bert here, where he does kind of want to tell this guy, like, fuck off, I didn't take it.
Please stop talking.
But I like that Rick is calling him out for this because he just wanted an honest discussion about it.
You never see this on camera, really, like a real call out.
That's what I like about it. Where, like, I think comics gets very, very worried now. Like, the tie between podcasting and comedy has been interesting because, like, confrontations like this would get you a lot of views, but I think comedians are afraid of it. And I think what Rick is kind of proving in this exchange, maybe Bert feels differently and they'll never fucking speak again. But I think Rick is kind of proving you can have, like, an adult conversation about this where both guys don't hate each other when it's over, you know?
Right. Next, still going, needed to be addressed.
Yeah. It was a long conversation, but I found a lot of interesting points in it.
Wanted to make a joke out of it because to me it wasn't about. Also, it's a rug commercial for my dad's. Not even. Well, now it's a real one because they made it, and that's very cool. But the point is, it's a bit in my podcast. I'm not making money off this. This isn't my brand. This isn't like my identity. To me, it wasn't that deep until having this conversation, trying to get you on the phone, and then realizing, maybe this something about it felt. Oh, I don't like this. And it was then where I'm like, I think we're going to edit this out. But before editing it out, I wanted it because it's just, it was contextualized. And before I even talked to you, we had everything marked just in case we feel not good about this or you don't, to take it all out. I was going to show you everything. And then once we had the conversation, I'm like, oh, maybe I lacked awareness. Maybe this is, let's have that in person. But even then, and I texted you yesterday, hey, Bert,
You said, we don't have to do this if you don't want to do this. And I was like, no, I don't want, look, I'm maybe obliviously so, but I'm like, I want you to feel the best about it. Cause I know I didn't do anything wrong.
I felt good after I talked to you.
So I go, if whatever makes you feel good, then, and publicly, cause I know that, like, I did not, and I'm being serious. I don't read a ton of comments. I will catch a comment here and there, but I don't go into my comments. I did not see anyone. It's in the extras, so I don't know.
It's in the credit sequence.
It's in the credit, extras or whatever. It's at the end.
I got so many.
Yeah, I did not see any.
And we were tagged. And
that's kind of a way of, like, saying, like, I have a lot more followers than you. No.
Yeah, and it's also like, is he making like millions off this friggin' carpet commercial?
No, well, that's the point. He's not making any money off of it.
It's like,
what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything.
No, I know. It's like, remember, I forget which joke it was we were talking about in the Thief episode. It's like, is it worth doing that? You know what I mean?
I guess so, but, like, Rick's point is it doesn't matter if I'm making money on it. I don't really care that much. And it might have gotten lost in translation a little bit based on how I clip these. But what Rick's talking about there is there was some exchange where Bert kind of kept blowing Rick off for a while when Rick was trying to ask him about this. And that's when Rick started to think like, ugh, like maybe there is.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like maybe he's avoiding something. Why is he being weird to me now? You know?
Yeah. Oh, Justin's comment. He actually didn't pay us, so I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Whenever Mark Hamill is in a movie that isn't Star Wars or Batman, it's always like, look at Luke Skywalker. Isn't it funny he's not playing Luke right now?
Yeah, I've never seen him in anything else, I don't think. But for me, I was like, is this guy an actor? Like, this is rough.
Well, he's right too, because I mean, he's awesome as Luke Skywalker, and he's the cartoon voice of the Joker on Batman.
Oh, okay.
And it's great, but you're not watching him try to
Right.
move around on camera.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's a weird choice. Why not go with an older comic? Didn't we say like?
I think it was literally so Bert Kreischer could be like, "Look at his fucking Luke Skywalker's
Like Ron White would have played Bert's dad perfectly.
That would have been awesome. That would have been so awesome.
Writing back was like, I just knew I had to release some stuff. But
way more
after talking
followers
to you, and that's kind of what the thesis of this was, is acknowledging. I realized it wasn't about acknowledging it to these people, which I thought it was. And there is something superficial to that, of wanting to be like, I know it's similar, without throwing you under the bus and without accusing something that I know nothing of. But when I realized after I talked to you, I'm like, that's what I wanted to acknowledge. And pardon me for realizing that.
There's one clip I wanted to get to where it seems like Rick gets a little annoyed. It might be the next one.
Where are we at here? Yeah, there's 3 left.
Oh boy.
We got Jay Moore, doing right and irony.
Yeah, the Jay Moore thing is interesting because I don't know why certain guys do this, where everyone knows this Jay Moore story, or I should say, not everyone knows the story, but everyone that knows the story knows it's Jay Moore that he's talking about.
Yep.
And Bert does a weird thing where he won't say Jay Moore's name for some reason. Maybe it's like, I don't want to draw attention to it or whatever. But everyone that knows the story knows who it is, and he's talking about Jay Moore here.
Oh, is this the Tracy Morgan joke or something?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So for people that don't know, Bert had an interaction with Tracy Morgan where Tracy Morgan was being Tracy Morgan essentially, and Jay Moore started telling that on stage, and told it as if it happened to Jay instead of Bert. And that caused a real riff in their relationship. And then Bert told that story on Rogan, and then they haven't spoken to each other since. So that's what Bert's talking about here.
Other words, I was thinking like, I do not want you to come over because you feel like you need to clean something up or feel obligated. But I recognize that existed. And that's why I sent that message like, hey, we could have this at some point, but let's have it whenever, because I don't feel any urgency. I felt better after just talking to you. So there is a little bit of tackiness of you like, I have to go to Rick's to talk about this thing. And like, I didn't want that to be a thing.
Well, I did feel obligated to do this because as a friend, I don't want you feeling that. Like, I don't want you, like we talked about this. I've been actually stolen from twice, more times, but twice where I made decisions. One time I made the decision to talk about it, and I wholeheartedly regret that. Because because a lot of people attacked me and said I'm doing it for this reason, or I'm doing. But
how would a lot of people know about it?
Because I talked about it on Rogan's podcast
with that person.
Nope, with Rogan.
Right.
I said this, and it was very public. And I said, it changed the dynamic of my relationship with that person for the rest of our lives. I have not spoken to that person, but in person since that date. And I've only texted once to him. I wasn't even text; it was a DM, and so I regret that, because in hindsight I could have just been the company man and not said a word. And I'll never know what that looked like. I don't know if I'd regret that, but I remember feeling that way. I should have said fucking nothing.
It's such an interesting mentality because he's in the middle of a conversation like that I think is going like well for both of them, really. Like, I'm sure people will agree or disagree with one side or the other, but like, it's so interesting that he's having this conversation about Jay Moore and he seems to regret it, and yet he couldn't like just text Jay Moore and be like, hey, let's do a podcast together. Let's go fucking grab a coffee or something.
That tells me that Jay Morris had some stuff he can't take back.
Maybe, yeah, maybe he just hates Jay Moore now, but it seems to be like eating him up on some level, which I found interesting.
Yeah, they were really close.
He opened for Jay, I think is how it started.
Yeah. Flex 316, $2. Mike has to read this.
Too bad, sucker.
Flex 316, $2. Read the chat, Mike. You blind. Feel it.
This seems harsh.
I don't even get that one. Dang Lizard, €5. Every time Bert is on screen, everyone else should say, "Where is Bert?" Bert Kreischer seems like a real poochie.
I don't get that.
Is
that your mom's house reference or something?
Possibly. Lawyers, guns,
a lot of people hate Bert.
Yes.
I mean, I think that happens with anyone that gets as big as he is, but like a lot of people do not like Bert Kreischer. I don't understand the beef with him, really.
He's a bad podcaster or something is the thing. Even though I
don't think he's that bad. I think he's interesting on podcasts sometimes.
I think he's way better at podcasting than stand-up.
I don't think his stand-up is that bad either. Like people say he's a terrible comedian. I don't think he's
we've talked about it on here before. On podcasts, he'll bring up stuff that you're like, oh, I can't believe he's talking.
Well, he'll do shit like this where even though it's clear he doesn't want to be in this conversation, he'll have it.
He'll still do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Lawyers, guns, and money, $5. This guy and his carpet commercial. Yeesh.
Yeah. If you listen to the podcast, it is like kind of a funny thing that he did. It is signature to him. I get why he thought like, oh, this must be related to me on some level.
Yeah. Do you want to keep going with these?
Sure.
Yeah, we got the two more. They're not as long as they have been.
Okay.
This one is doing right.
All right.
Had I had any insight about your dad's carpet commercials or your dad's, I would have flown you to Serbia and had you direct it, and we would have shot it the way you wanted it, and it would have been your first directing credit in fucking a major motion picture. And I would have within a fucking heartbeat. If I had known.
Hold on, pause. That's a great. we would have done it. We would have paid you a few bucks. I didn't even pick up on that. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, of course we still would have stolen it, but
did you hear him too? He's like, we would have you would have got directing credit in a major motion picture.
Yeah. So basically he's saying if you called us out earlier, you could have bolstered your IMDb a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
La-di-da.
Any insight about your dad's carpet commercials or your dad's, I would have flown you to Serbia and had you direct it, and we would have shot it the way you wanted it, and it would have been your first directing credit in fucking a major motion picture. And I would have within a fucking heartbeat, if I had had any insight of any of that, I would have called you immediately, said, yo, Rick, my dad's a carpet salesman. More importantly, in the end credits, we're going to be doing a carpet commercial. I haven't seen it, but I know you do carpet commercials.
Have I mentioned I haven't seen it?
Again, he seems almost like he's patting Rick on the head, like, hey, you did a carpet commercial, buddy. When I sympathize with what Rick's point is like, no, if you watched them together, which Bert has mandated us not to do, but if you watch them back to back, there is a similarity. Like, I get what Rick is talking about, where it seems like Bert's just saying, like, hey, we both have dads that sell carpets, even though Bert doesn't really, you know?
Nick West, $2. Bert's personality is grating. See Joe List.
Well, Joe List squashed the beef. There's no beef.
Oh, from the bachelor party or whatever?
Bachelor party incident, yes. Right. Joe was just on, he was on Your Mom's House, and they brought up the story. And Joe goes, I've been dreading this moment. I thought you were going to bring this up.
Off topic completely. The movie, 4th of July?
Great movie.
Where can you watch that right now?
I know Louis' website, I assume.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's been. I don't know why they wouldn't have that on some streaming platform. Maybe they won't work with Louis, but you'd think at least like Amazon would have it or something.
This last one is really short, but it's just called.
I think this is the one I'm looking for, though, where Rick kind of throws a little shade Bert's way.
Yeah, put a little coffee break music.
Oh, hold on! No! This is the ultimate irony. We'll have to hold on a second. But I guess maybe I didn't clip the one thing I found interesting where Rick goes, he mentions the attitude that Bert has in like, fine, I'll come over here and do this. And Rick was like, that's why a little bit I'm like, kind of like, fuck you with the attitude, because like, I want to address this and you've been avoiding addressing it with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did find that interesting. It seems like, they talked it out. They're in a good place and everything. The ultimate irony of Rick accusing someone of stealing something. Go back, rewind, folks, if you missed the beginning of the show, and watch our intro today. If you've seen any previous episodes, we have a very popular game show host that contributes to this program. Now, the stealing shoe may be on the other foot, it seems.
Yeah. Put a little coffee break music.
This coffee break is brought to you by me, Jerry Seinfeld.
What the fuck, Rick?
It's an amazing drug.
Jesus.
All right, everyone, flood Rick Glassman's mentions and let him know that he is stolen from us and Hackride.
If everyone in here right now goes and comments on the last video that you stole from Hackride,
yes,
he'll see it.
Yes, everyone go to Rick Glassman's Instagram, every social media, whatever social media you use, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm sure he has a TikTok. Go comment on all platforms. You stole from Hackride. Let him know.
You stole from Hackride.
Or how about this? Say, what's the deal with stealing from Hackride?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Wow. It was like,
right?
I gotta be honest, Hackride is better.
It was a long build-up. I know I made you wait for it. But the ultimate irony is that this son of a bitch has created a very powerful enemy.
It was a build-up. It's all build-up.
No, I thought that was funny because like I remembered, so I watched that whole episode, and then I remembered after all of it, I was like, wait, didn't he have a Seinfeld thing at the beginning of this? Who the fuck does he think he is?
What the hell?
We own Jerry.
Yeah, he's ours.
Yeah.
Get your own sitcom star.
By the way, there hasn't been a game in a while.
No, there's not one today either.
Hackride's going through a weird time. I don't know what's wrong with our buddy. I hope he's all right.
Yeah. I have no idea.
You've noticed that as well?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know. He seems less interested in this show. Am I wrong about that?
No, I don't think so.
He seems like he's losing interest in us, which it would be unfortunate.
No, I don't think so because I actually been talking to him more than ever.
Okay.
I know he's got something going on at home.
Okay.
Which I think is the main contributor to that.
All right. Well, we don't need to get into,
Yeah.
Craig wants to air his dirty laundry here. But...
No. This is very vague.
All right. Well, I hope that's true. It seems like he's been losing interest. I will say, though, Hackride may be losing interest, but there is a budding star in his...
Oh, yeah.
in his arsenal.
Yes, there is.
Should we get to that now? Or you know what? But we mentioned Jerry. Could we let's play this Jerry clip first before we get into one of Hackride's teammates.
All right.
Yeah. Now let's talk a little Jerry first because an interesting post was sent to me on Instagram from this was either posted by Linda Pizzuti or Kirk is playing a prank on Tony Maserati again. I'm not sure which.
Me.
But I think it was Linda Pizzuti that posted this. Which is it's a weird. Don't you think that's an odd source for this video?
Yeah.
It's very strange. But anyways, someone sent it to me and I found it interesting. Jerry's on stage in, I guess, Boston recently. And he gives a little tease to the crowd. So if you can't hear, someone in the audience yells, what did you think of the finale? Which I assume is a reference to the Seinfeld finale, which has been oft debated. And Jerry addresses that question in an interesting fashion.
Did you like the ending?
Did I like what?
The ending.
The ending of the show. Well, I have a little secret for you about the ending. I can't really tell it. Because it is a secret. Here's what I'll tell you, okay? But you can't tell anybody. Something is going to happen. that has to do with that ending. Hasn't happened yet.
There's sheep cheering.
And just what you are thinking about, Larry and I have also been thinking about. So you'll see.
Oh no! What are you doing, Jerry?
You have enough money.
What are you cooking up? You son of a bitch!
Please don't.
Don't. The reunion on Curb was perfect.
Perfect.
You nailed it.
They had a reunion while making fun of reunion.
What crackpot scheme are you two cooking up? You son of a bitch.
It's just going to be like them in jail for being bad people.
But again, the reunion would suggest that they got out of jail. They were only supposed to be in jail for a year.
Right.
And then the reunion told us that they got out. Like, please don't do a reboot of Seinfeld.
God, no.
It'll be sad. They're all so much older.
Yeah,
Jerry, did you see they're saying Black Lives Matter now?
Jerry's
Kramer slides into the room.
Jerry's 60, still chasing skirts.
Well, yeah, that's the trouble. Like Curb has run into is like Larry's supposed to be dating and shit. It's like I don't know. He's a 70-year-old guy.
Right.
Yeah, that I hope they don't do anything stupid.
That is.
But literally, what he says there, he goes, "What you are thinking about." So literally, what all these rubes in Seinfeld's audience are thinking, that's the idea they thought of. Apparently,
don't like it. Wait, what are they gonna have kids and stuff? Like,
I'll tell you. Here's what I'm thinking that will be annoying, but less so. I think maybe a Super Bowl commercial.
Someone just said that actually in the chat.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my prediction. Is there's going to be, Jerry and George are getting out of jail commercial or something.
I can live with that.
I can live with it. I mean, it did hurt me when Walter White and Jesse Pinkman were hawking
Doritos,
off-brand Cheez-Its or whatever. Was it Doritos?
I thought it was maybe not. I thought it was like 3D Doritos, possibly.
It was something like that. Yeah, it was Puffs.
Yeah. Oh, the Lay's thing. I don't freaking know.
It was a reenactment. It was them and Tuco.
That's right.
But then they used like lines from a different episode where he's like, "Say their name," but that's like 3 seasons later.
Yeah.
Tuco had been long dead by the time that line was delivered.
Tuco is great, and then maybe because he's in Better Call Saul, they're like, "Yeah, this will work."
I just really hope a Super Bowl commercial I'll tolerate. That's Jerry. I'm willing to compromise with you.
It could be good.
That I'm okay with. That could actually be funny in a 30-second burst. You know what I mean? But if they come back for a movie or a series where they're in jail, because again, I keep thinking like, oh, they're going to reboot it. It has to tie into the finale in some way. Like he's specifically addressing the finale and saying we have an idea. So I think it's got to be a Super Bowl commercial.
They're gonna come out of jail and George's gonna be like, yeah, I could use a Pepsi. That's gonna be the commercial.
I'd be all right with that. I could live with that. But I can only live with it because I've built up the alternative in my mind so much of how horrible it could be.
Now they're gonna use CGI to make themselves look like they were back then.
Well, that's the other weird thing is they're all going to look 25 years older, except for Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who looks like better than she did on Seinfeld.
She looks so much better now. Yeah, they're gonna explain they're getting out of jail now because George killed a guy in self-defense.
Now that'd be fun.
Yeah, there's so many.
I was frustrated, Jerry.
Frustrated. Kramer's gonna slide in through like those metal sliding doors.
You know who's in jail, don't you, Jerry?
Maniacs.
Yeah, so here, fingers crossed and hoping that's not a complete abomination.
Yeah. Let's hope it's a Super Bowl commercial because then I honestly just don't care what happens with it.
Yeah. So Jerry has been hard at work on the Seinfeld reboot, and obviously he works with Hackride. He's been at Fat Camp with Kreischer.
Yep, apparently.
How do you feel about your new nickname, by the way?
So someone called me that at work, so I've heard it, but now I'm just
Kreischer.
hearing it all the time, which is not the best.
Well, Hackride's up to his eyeballs in work and stress and all sorts of things. So it's natural that he would bring in
An outlet.
An employee, I guess.
Yeah.
This is Hackride's employee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would just say I don't know how associated these two gentlemen are. Hackride and the person we're about to introduce you to. I would say from my own experience, building up multiple channels, I would try and build up one channel first.
Yeah.
It's tough to build up two at the same time. That's just my own thought. But a new channel popped up on YouTube, and it turns out this gentleman is part of Hackride Incorporated. He's the newest employee over there.
Okay.
Craig, would you care to introduce the world to Boney?
Okay, so what exactly is this Dabbleverse thing you're telling me about? And is there any other boners in it? Because I need to be the only boner where I go.
Why does the boner sound like Akash Singh? Am I crazy, or does that sound exactly like Akash Singh?
It sounds exactly like him.
Is that on purpose, or?
Oh. Gotta be honest, I saw Boney on a stream like a few weeks ago, and the voice was 12,000 times higher pitched than this.
Oh, Boney's been around for a while?
Like a couple weeks.
Oh, I didn't know that. Boney is new to me.
I didn't know Boney was like moving in.
I'll tell you how Boney was introduced to me. Is I got a message saying that read a sentence I never dreamt I would read.
Uh-huh.
Please subscribe to Boney.
I just got the link. I didn't get any messages with it.
Let's see what Boney has to offer.
Potato. Okay, well, I can deal with the potato. Corn. That's very close to being a boner, and I need to be the only boner in this Dabbleverse. So yes, I accept your invitation, and I will be the only boner in the Dabbleverse.
Well, that's Boney, folks.
Boney the boner.
Do you have this YouTube channel up?
I will. 1 second. I have the let me get this off the screen.
That
here.
wasn't, by the way. Go subscribe to Boney, folks.
For sure.
Like, I just found like we started the Why You Laughing Clips channel, and then I kind of realized like I don't have enough subscribers on this channel to start a second channel, really. So in my experience, it's easier to do everything on one, but that to each their own.
For sure.
Again, that's assuming I'm making a lot of assumptions about Boney's employment. Maybe they have a deal worked out.
They might.
Yeah.
Let's see. Boney the boner. 18 subscribers. So go
Get those numbers up. Get Boney a few subscribers, please. What's the at? What's the handle?
That's Boney the boner.
Boy. Is Boney ever flat? Is he always erect? I mean, he's a boner, so he must always be erect, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Or is when he is in a bad mood, does he go flaccid?
When he's depressed, he's flaccid.
Yeah.
So right now he's flaccid all over the place, I think.
Oh yeah, right now he's a very flaccid boner.
He's a very flaccid boner. He's got looks like just clips so far on here.
What's the latest video?
I much prefer being Jake's boner.
Let's see what that's about.
Let's take a look at this. Oh, I gotta unmute this. Hold on. Spare yourselves.
What do you think about Lou to God?
Oh, good. He's on with a retarded man. That's good.
Yeah.
A genuine, mentally challenged man. Start over. Pause. There's too much going on.
See how much higher pitched it is?
A clearly mentally unwell man and a boner are having a conversation.
Yeah,
and I'm playing it on my show. I can talk about whatever I'd like.
This is a clip from the Joey C show on Boney's channel.
I gotta tell you, can I tell you, Joey C stock is way up in my eyes.
Through the roof.
Someone just made a joke about me.
I saw that.
I forget what it even was. It was a kind of sarcastic, just a funny thing. And Joey read it seriously, as if I was being threatened in some way.
Oh yeah.
And he responded with, tenacity.
He's ready
You shut your fucking mouth about Blind Mike.
Joey C rules.
I don't know what I did to deserve this loyalty, but I appreciate it, Joey C.
But here's where you'll, Boney's name is Jake Hudson's enormous boner on this.
Is Jake Hudson the guy that spells his name wrong?
Jake Hudson is the fella.
Husdon, I think he spells it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the fella who might be challenged in some ways.
Okay, and he's talking to Boney, the boner.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think about Lou to God?
I was his boner before you came. Yes, I was his boner for a little bit, but I much prefer being your boner, Jake. Hey!
Okay, now I'm wondering, is Boney part of the Latin Kings? Is he gang affiliated in some Hispanic? So he sounds sort of like a stereotypical Southern California cholo, if I may be so bold.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Hey, Jake Hudson! I'm a boner. I don't do accents. I don't know.
His foreskin's only buttoned right under the head once.
Let's finish this clip, I guess.
That was it.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, we got another one that's a little longer called Holes. That could be interesting.
All right, let's play it.
What do you think about Playboy magazine? Boner?
Well, at one time, when you Hefner was alive.
Not
you,
you,
Joey.
Joey.
Oh.
Not enough holes for me, Jake. Not enough holes. No, I like magazines with a lot of holes because I go in the holes, and so if you're just showing a side boob, what does that do for me? Nothing. Now, you talk some hustler. Now we're talking, Jakey boy. Now let's get into some of them holes. Yes.
What about Maxim?
Do I need to dig you a hole and show you what a hole is, Jake? Maybe in this actual meeting we should talk about.
I forgot. I'll be honest. I just forgot we were doing a show.
We thought you were hanging out post show.
I don't know what I thought. I was like waiting for something, and then I realized, oh, I'm steering the ship here. I got
recording. It's too bad I didn't go mute there, right?
So, do you think Boney will be ever filling in on this program?
I mean, I feel like
do we get a taste of Boney ever, or are we a Hackride exclusive show and Boney is property of Jake Hudson?
So if I was a betting man, I'm gonna guess someone's gonna hear this segment.
You think we may see Boney next week, huh?
I think we're gonna get pummeled with Boney next week.
Well, as I always try to bestow on this man, less is more. So be aware of that. But
actually,
well, everyone, go subscribe to Boney the Boner on Twitter if you'd be so kind.
Please.
I don't know what his purpose is. I don't know if he's going to even be creating content, but
brain. I need to study the brain.
Yeah. Well, should we get to some of these questions that the fine people have left us?
The patron?
Yeah.
Pull those up.
We haven't done it in a while.
We have not.
And as I've said before, it's generally a sign of Mike's not too confident in the content of the show today, so we'll resort to questions. But sometimes you guys have good questions. There's always new people on the Patreon, so Patreon gets first crack. Patreon and Super Chats get first crack, so you can fire away.
I see. I see why these questions stink now.
Why is that?
Because one of them is like, when's the next Blind Mike VGS crossover?
Yeah. I don't know how seriously they took a lot of it. Often we get good questions. I don't know if this was the best crop, but we'll address the good ones. And Patreon gets first crack. So go to blindmike.net, subscribe to the Patreon if you want access to that sort of stuff. We'll talk about the live show after. Just make sure you remind me.
Okay.
Yeah.
First question from Clarence Horley. When are you doing a Jonathan Winters? Why are you laughing?
He's on the list for sure. I try to. It's tough with obscure guys like that because people don't give a fuck about the episode usually, which often means it's a more interesting episode because like I'm learning. I don't know a ton about Jonathan Winters, so I'd be like learning a lot for that episode. So I always enjoy those, but a lot of episodes like that are the lowest viewed. Like I don't know what the so what I like to do is go through a streak where we have a few hot ones, which I think we've had recently. I think the Andy Kaufman episode will do well. So you get a few hot ones under our belt, and then go to a guy like Jonathan Winters or Mort Saul or something like that.
It's like a wrestling match. We have to have the come down spot to make the ending even better.
Someone asked, it shows you how locked in these people are to our content. Someone said, when are you doing a Doug Stanhope episode? It's like, well,
3 weeks
3
ago.
months ago.
Yeah, fuck, it was not that long ago.
Yeah.
Like when people ask about an episode we did at first, I get it.
Right.
You know, it's like, yeah, it's way, way back, but it's there.
Yeah. Well, we've only done 100, folks. Go through the archives. There's not too many there. You can
Go
get
through the
through it
list.
pretty quickly.
Kirk 5K. This always comes up during the questions. Did you go on that boat ride with Albert?
This son of a bitch won't let me live it down. No. He's never getting that boat ride. All right? What do you want from me? He's never stepping foot on that boat. On his deathbed, I'll say, hey, you want to go for a ride? There's one last twist of the knife.
But knowing you, it'll be exactly what he needs to like walk again.
I'm like, no.
Damn it.
You've given me hope, Mike.
Does Carl pay the regulars on his show like Trucker Andy Cardiff Electric?
You know what's weird? It's kind of like Carl says he treats it like the Super Bowl. They pay him to be on the show.
That's right.
Andy pays, I think, $500 a week to be on that program.
Yeah,
you know what I am interested in is Trucker Andy on that show. I say I'm interested in it. I do a show with Carl every week. I've never once asked him, so I'm not that interested, I guess. But that Trucker Andy is on every week now because he says he's not a trucker anymore, which I took to mean like he's retired or something. And he started his own podcast, All Apologies, I think it's called, which is actually a good idea. He does it's exactly what it sounds like. He does apologies. Like I suggested he do the Chris D'Elia apology.
Mm-hmm.
And Brennan Schaub and Callan crying about it. I think they might have done that.
It was the best.
But it's like looking back, like Jonah Hill's tearful apology on The Tonight Show. Michael Richards is a great one.
Jonah Hill's was for the F word, right?
Yes.
Yes. It's a very funny video.
Yeah, so it's a good concept for a podcast. But what I am interested because he said Andy's on with me every week because I assume, to answer your question, he does get paid in some form or fashion for that. But he's a pretty young guy to be retired. I'd be curious to know his story. I don't know how private a guy he is, but
maybe he's one of those truck drivers that's just like, I'm gonna grind for 10 years straight.
Yeah, he just put away good money. Yeah,
you can make so much money doing that.
Yeah, it might be something like that. Yeah,
could be it. Nick West, $2. Hashtag to hell and back for Hackride.
Damn straight, baby. Hackriders support the man.
That's right. Justin Trudell, $2. At least he's making the price lower.
All right.
Super Bowl.
Go ahead.
Super Bowl commercials aren't what they used to be. And that is it.
Profound stuff, Justin.
Dang Lizard, $2. Euros. Hackride will get Jerry on Joey C's Prisoner show. That would actually be the most insane thing. Like, you know, something like that's going to happen.
Well, I'm more of a bony guy, to be honest with you.
That's right. I mean, Hackride. On the outs.
Yesterday's news.
Yeah. Josh, not a question, but I came over from Who Are These Podcasts, and I recently finished the full backlog of Blind Mike Project and Why Are You Laughing? Thank you.
Jesus.
That's a lot.
Really? All of it?
Wow. Good for
There's
you.
no way. Well, thank you, sir.
Did you come over 3 years ago? How did you do it?
And why? Why would you listen to those early Blind Mike Project episodes? Would be my question.
This is a funny question. Why does Craig constantly roll his eyes and pretend he is shooting himself while you are talking?
Why do you do that? Let's finally get this out of the way. Why do I bore you so much?
What are you talking about?
You're bored on the program.
I'm not
You're
bored
falling
at all.
asleep.
Yes, I've fallen asleep like 4 or 5 times. That's about it.
You're the Francesa of this show.
Drink my Diet Cokes.
Carl demanded I address this with you, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Did I fuck up the clips?
And I've deduced it to this is when Craig has nothing. He hasn't been paying attention to what I'm saying, so he has nothing to contribute.
Yep.
Your crutch is 1,000%.
Right.
Everyone's been pointing that out to me lately. I've never noticed that you do it, but when it was pointed out to me, I was like, I think, yeah, that's when he's not listening to me.
No, it's when I'm listening. What happened? I can tell you exactly why I say it. It's when you finish a point and it's time for the next clip, and that's me saying something while the next clip gets pulled up.
1,000%.
1,000%.
Boss.
1,000%.
I agree with you in tenfold.
Hamburger. $2. Love you guys. I binged early episodes too.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very sweet of you people.
Nice. They hold up.
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine either.
We found I'd say we found our groove in like November of last year.
Yeah, we've been hitting the ground running since then.
Yeah.
Phil Elmore, $2. Shots fired. I don't know what that's in reference to.
I think I said Phil Elmore's name earlier, but it was not in. I don't think it was in a mean way.
Have you commented or spoken about the New Yorker Hassan Minajad?
You son of a bitch!
That's very funny.
It exists, I swear.
Joe Buccino. Blind Mike. A swamp fungus? All right. Blind Mike, buddy, how can you not enjoy the one genre of entertainment that is entirely audio? Music is a good, man. You should try it. Keep up the good work.
I'm not a monster. It's not that I don't enjoy music. I'm just not a music fan. Like, there's no, you could probably find this on the Who Are These Podcasts episode I just did.
Mm-hmm.
That we were making fun of a radio show that they have a game where it's like they play. Essentially, the game is just they play a fucking Led Zeppelin song, and you have to be like, "Oh, that's Led Zeppelin," and they're like, "Hey, you won tickets." That's the game.
Yeah.
And I was trying to make a point of like, yeah, I mean, like, it's a dumb game. I don't necessarily know it. Like, Carl's talking about how easy the game is, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know every band. And Carl's like, you don't know who Led Zeppelin is? And I'm like, I know them. But if you played me a Led Zeppelin song, I wouldn't be like, that's definitely Led Zeppelin.
It's either Led Zeppelin, Def Leppard, or...
So you'll see me be completely phony and go, I'm pretty sure I was like, oh, I know that one. I meant in general, you know, like all the other ones.
Yeah.
But no, like, I'm genuinely a Taylor Swift fan. But like, I'm not like one of these people. I don't give a shit that she's dating Travis Kelce.
You don't? I don't care, and I'm all in on it.
I don't get the obsession. No.
Nick West,
I hope they get married just to fuck with everyone.
That would be great. They held hands yesterday. That was big news.
Whoa!
Oh my god! These people dating held hands.
That's okay. That's where Dan Katz is exonerated, because if you're reacting to them holding hands,
you will react to a sex tape.
Then what you want ultimately is a sex tape.
Correct.
So Big Cat, we got your back.
Nick West, $2. Craig mouthing "fuck the blind" is a fun touch.
Yeah. See, this is hurtful to me. Why do you do these things?
Where did I leave off here? Richard Chavez, has the increase in Kirk's content output negatively affected your Patreon content views?
Has the increase in Kirk's content?
Why would
so
that?
Meaning he's doing like 4 days a week now instead of 3?
Yeah.
Has that negatively affected my? How? I don't understand how it would. What am I missing here?
I don't know, because he still plugs the website even when you're not in.
Yeah, it's probably helped.
Yeah. So we got another day of it.
Or does he mean maybe he means because he was in like New York this week, so I wasn't on the show. Like he's doing more Barstool
does
stuff.
He mean
So
there's an extra KMS show, so maybe they're gonna listen to that over this?
Oh, well, I mean, they're gonna do that anyway.
Yeah.
I wasn't stealing listeners from. I think they're doing just fine.
Basically, I think we covered every possible version that question could have.
Yeah, I don't really understand the question. No, I'm sure if anything, it's helped probably, but
I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, if you want to, if you're in the chat, please clarify because I don't know what you mean.
Oh, here it is. Voting for Doug Stanhope while you're laughing.
Yeah.
Did you see Sam Hyde at Skankfest, and have you looked into any of the MDE's material yet?
No, so I did see Sam Hyde. He was on the first show I was at, like the opening night, and I don't know who he is. I know the name, but like, should I know him?
Sam Hyde?
Yeah.
Isn't he like a political?
I thought so too, and then maybe I'm mixing him up with Sam Harris or something.
Oh,
I don't know. He was there, and it seemed like a big deal that he was there, but I didn't give a shit really.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know anything about that guy at all.
Neither do I. Yeah, so I I did see him. I don't know. He didn't. I haven't further checked him out. Put it that way.
Wayne A. Bruns. Next to my whacking lube, the best $5 I spend each month. Love the content that
That's very sweet.
That you and Mr. Ozempic provide.
The Ozempic King, Craig Koenig. Are you worried with all the like reports coming out now about that, like the side effects and stuff?
Yes. terribly
Should be.
worried. I'm not juicing. I've said this many times. I'm not juicing.
Oh, the O in a Coney stands for Ozempic.
It's unfortunately going to stick around, probably. Ryan, have you considered a Discord for paying gearheads? Perhaps you could build off the excitement and momentum from the VGS Discord. That was the last thing. The last thing Mike Harrison nuked on his way out was that Discord.
Well, we have one, don't we? Didn't someone start one?
I think he means just for the paying people. There is a Discord. If you want it, message me on Twitter.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't give a shit enough about Discord. Like if you guys start one, or there is one, then fucking go crazy. But probably not, just because I don't care about this. I remember the one time I used it when it was a thing for like Kirk's show. Like I tried to use it, and the way it was set up, I couldn't even begin to see.
It took me
so it turned me off from it.
It took me a while to understand how Discord works.
Yeah.
What goes into the decision to release Why You Laughing on Patreon early versus keeping more behind a paywall? I think there's both. I hope it's not because you're not I hope it's not because you're not giving yourself enough credit. Your content is very good and deserves to be paid for.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very sweet.
I had never really been interested in stand-up comedy, but still find Why You Laughing interesting.
Well, that started because we never did bonus episodes before. So the incentive was get these earlier on Patreon, and then we started doing bonus episodes this year. I don't know. Like I like Why You Laughing, and I put a lot of work into it, so I want the most people to see it.
Yeah,
I guess that's the main answer. Like my dream is that someone comes across that someday, like the right people, and it's like, oh, this is pretty good. Like I have no delusions that this is very niche. The idea that we're talking about, we spent 2 hours on fucking Bert Kreischer stealing a carpet commercial. I understand if that's not a mainstream thing, but I do think like Why You Laughing is a thing that people could find and enjoy at any time. So that's the hope with having those archives up.
But you don't necessarily have to like comedy to just be like, what's up with this guy?
Yeah, like I'd be interested because I've done that with like history shit where I'm not like a history buff, but sometimes something will come up in my YouTube algorithm and I'll be like, oh, this it could be interesting for an hour.
Yeah, we definitely got new people. Ever considered doing a Why You Laughing on Adam Sandler's comedy albums?
Well, and they may not be new because technically we never did that.
We sort of did.
We tried to with Danny Polishchuk, and we got sidetracked with Peter Schickley. Go listen to the first 5 minutes of The Mystery of Peter Schickley, and you'll enjoy it because we're talking about Adam Sandler.
And I got to be honest, thank God we found Peter Schickley because the Schickley, whatever his name is.
Schickley.
Because it didn't feel like Danny wanted to do Adam Sandler.
No, it was his suggestion.
I know.
And he seemed like annoyed. I don't think he knew what the show was.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think he got it. Because he seemed almost like annoyed that we were doing it. And then he was obsessed with Peter Schickley, so it worked out nicely.
Also, my girlfriend wants to know if you're really blind. She thinks you might be faking. And if you have any photos of you without the glasses, she may have a crush.
Ooh.
Hey, now.
Sorry, baby. I like to leave a little to be desired. You know what I mean?
Go watch any episode of KMS.
I don't show too much leg, if you know what I'm saying.
That's right. This is a good question from Principled Uncertainty. Great gearhead, by the way. Always has good questions.
Yes.
What comedian does everybody else love, but they leave you cold? For me, it's Pryor, and I 1,000% agree.
Well, it's interesting to know that Craig faked his way through the Richard Pryor episode of Why You Laughing.
No, I think I even said on that. I was like, I like him, but he never, you know.
Yeah. Well, Seinfeld, I guess.
Seinfeld. Yeah.
I say a lot of shit about Seinfeld, but I think a lot of people agree with me on that. Oh, you know what? Take the rapes out of it. Bill Cosby.
Never
never
did.
understood.
Yeah.
I never got it. I like his
Strictly-
I like his
strictly
later
on
work much better.
stage.
Yeah.
Strictly on the stage. We're talking.
Yeah, no, I like Cosby. They talk about as like one of the greatest ever, and I never understood that in the little I saw of him.
Rogan.
I liked Rogan's 2 Netflix specials. I thought were not bad.
Triggered, I thought was very funny.
Yeah.
But that was maybe the first time.
Strange Times, I thought was good.
I haven't seen that one yet. Do a Walt on Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh, maybe they meant why are you laughing?
Oh yeah, I thought for some reason I was picturing you had like a Walt Jr. just trashing Sebastian Maniscalco.
Why will I do that?
He doesn't look like he eats breakfast.
I mean, when you're cooking the stuff. I don't know.
This is bullshit.
Stop being such a bitch. Oh no, I hate that guy.
No one likes bunt cake.
To be clear, I mean I hate Walt Jr. I'm sure RJ Mitty is a fine man. But
Yeah. Felix Fitzgerald. How do you read a room? Haha, get it?
That's fun.
For some reason, it sucks when there's not money attached to those.
Well, there is in some ways, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true. I take back what I said. What's next on the menu for the us Clug? Oh, what a segue here. What's next on the menu for us Clug Maniacs when we sadly one day say goodbye to Quincy?
Oh, interesting. So you mean what show is going to be? I don't know if we're going to follow up Quincy with another show.
Can you follow up Quincy?
That'd be tough to do. Certainly not right away. It has to happen naturally, I think.
I agree.
But yes, I do have an announcement for the people here that I should have mentioned during our Skankfest chat last week.
I love this.
So I went to Sixth and Jump at Skankfest, a reunion of Ari Shaffir, Dan Soder, and Big J. Okerson's pandemic podcast where they watch 21 Jump Street. Quincy is essentially stolen from that. Although we don't pause, like their episodes will be 3 hours because they pause and rewind and all that shit. But essentially, we're doing the same thing with Quincy that they did with 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, we talk over all of it because most of it you can sort of miss.
A lot of it you can miss in Quincy. But so what they did for the show is they had it in a movie theater at the Skankfest is at an old abandoned mall. So there's like actual movie theater seating and screens in there and shit. So they had it in a movie theater and they passed out like bingo cards and shit like that, which we've tweaked a little bit. But we just watched an episode of Quincy with their commentary. It was like you were watching with them. It was very fun. And I said we should do this with the penultimate episode of Quincy, the second to last episode, which there's a wedding involved. Now, I mentioned this to Carl, who jolted a little bit of sense into me and was like, well, maybe you want to do other things that lead to Quincy or something so that other people, other than the 5 that watch Quincy with us, maybe other people will be interested in going.
I for sure thought we would do something else before it.
So I think we will. And I actually sent a video today. We're not going to get to it, I don't think. Did you see the Dahr Man video I sent?
Yes.
I had to reach out to Royce to make sure of the name. So when I've been on Daywave, they've shown me these videos that are basically like PSAs, but they're the worst scripted and worst acted things you've ever seen. I was thinking maybe those could be fun for a live show. We'll have to... What time is it? Can we do that right now? This could take hours.
Yeah, it's about noon.
Yeah, no, all right. We'll do it.
We'll put that one on the back burner.
We'll put it on the back burner, but those Dahr Man videos are fascinating, and they get millions of views on YouTube. So shit like that would be fun. Obviously, like Tom Myers segment or something would be fun. So yeah, we'll do other shit, but the main thing is we wanted to have a coroner's inquest.
Yes.
Which the Clug Maniacs will understand. And we'll make it a real frat vibe, the way that we have built Coroner's Inquest up into being.
Yeah, this is gonna be like Mike and Madawaska without the trouble. Everyone's just gonna get bombed.
Yes, I want it to be nothing like that, but that's actually a terrible pitch. But
I'm just picturing everyone with like beer helmets and
yeah. Sure,
the people that listen will paint their chests.
Yes, definitely
have cues on it. Everyone's got their Platinum Club jackets, hopefully.
Without a doubt. Yeah,
that'll be a great time.
So yeah, that's hopefully something to tease the Club Maniacs.
Nick West, $2 says Murder She Wrote would be a treasure trove.
People suggested that when we started Quincy. That was high on the list.
Josh, could you do a more on money again? Just an update on how you're feeling about crypto and what changes you may have made, if any.
It's funny. I thought about that recently. The reason I stopped doing more on money, which for anyone that doesn't remember, I would talk about like stocks and crypto and investing, and I stopped doing it because I got to a point where now I just invest. I have a Roth IRA, SEP IRA, and just a general fund that I invest into, and like a high yield fund that I invest into every month. And I just do that like clockwork, basically. And so my investing has gotten much more boring. I don't keep up on different stocks the way I used to. So I just stopped doing it because it got to a point where I was like, guys, be safe with your money. It was just a boring show because I kept saying the same shit every week, it felt like. But I could check in with one in the near future if there's wanting for it.
Ooh. Same guy, Josh. Also, maybe a VGS Blind Mike episode. Those are always great.
I'll tell you what slowed down the VGS crossovers, which go to verygoodshow.org for all your shock jock needs.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, Mike Harris leaving the program.
Oh yeah,
lost it quelled my fire.
Well, I can tell you exactly why.
Yeah.
Matt and Tim don't talk that much, so it's just essentially a Blind Mike project.
Right. Yeah, and Tim seems to have some weird contempt for me.
No, I think he's nervous still.
Didn't Tim say something weird about me? Oh, that he met me at Legion of Skanks or something.
He thought so, I think. Or,
how would he have thought that?
I think it actually went back to the I got the drop somewhere. The era where Lewis was talking about you for a little bit.
Yes.
Where is it?
But I wasn't there for that.
No, I know, but you were coming up on Legion of Skanks. So then
Yes.
he looked into it that way.
Blind Mike, who used to work for Barstool.
Oh,
Blind
Lewis,
Mike,
that's enough.
Blind Mike, go watch Blind Mike Geary's podcast. Blind Mike.
Thank you, Lewis.
Wow, that guy. That's the end of the questions.
All right. Do I want to do Dahr Man? No, we've gone 2 hours. I do kind of want to do that Dahr Man video now that we brought it up. Can I give you a taste?
Sure.
Let's do a little Dahr Man. Unless you're jonesing to get out of here. I know you're very bored with this show.
Nope.
So I want to be clear. Full credit to my buddy Royce Lopez, who's been nice to have me on Daywave a bunch. I got to get back on Daywave, by the way. I haven't done it in a while. But Royce showed me these videos, and they're wild. You could spend hours watching them because the acting and the storyline are so captivatingly terrible. But I want to be clear, this is Royce Lopez on Daywave. I don't want to be one of these guys. You know, these guys I won't name names, but these guys with their wacky teeth and their glasses, and they see a show like ROTC talking about Stuttering John, and they steal it from him. I'm not going to be one of those guys. You know, that's my point here.
Good place to be.
Yeah. We're friends of ROTC. We're not like these thieves out here. Some people call them chompers.
So,
you know, eating away all the content for the rest of
us. This is a video called "Mom Calls the Cops on Tattooed Dad."
Yeah. So here they take up these causes. By the way, I don't know why they're not just honest. It's clearly a racial issue, but they make it seem like the tattoos are the real problem here. And what I also love about the titles is it's always like, you won't believe what happens next. Like, oh, that's true because it's ridiculous. Let's see if we can get through this. like PSAs, by the way. If that was included. After school specials.
Oh, this is not. I thought this was like a friggin' Gillian Keeves sketch. Is how it's filmed.
Oh, no. This is like, I think the idea behind it is like you're supposed to show these at like HR seminars and like high school, like showing people how to behave, basically.
Oh, I think Legion of Skanks has actually done these before. Now I'm thinking about it.
Oh, very possibly. Dahr Man is the name of this particular channel, but Royce Lopez, great guy. All credit to Royce. He's shown me a bunch of different channels that are good, but I think this is probably the most popular.
No idea. I've never seen him here before.
So it's always ominous like this, where
Why don't you try going down
there's colored in our midst.
You can make a new friend with you.
Okay, Mom. Want to go? Sure.
They don't want the kids to be around this black guy.
All right, that's close enough.
Excuse me? Okay, go back. This is literally a man in a park completely minding his own business. And this is where these sketches, or whatever you want to call them, this is where they're brilliant, because they make no effort to make the guy look suspicious.
No, he's literally
He's just a guy enjoying a lovely day at the park.
You better have a kid here, though. I will say she's onto something.
Well, we'll find out.
All right, that's close enough.
Excuse me?
I don't know what it is you're doing here, but this is not the time or place. So I need you to leave.
Hold on. This is not the park is not the time or place to be enjoying the day. What does that even mean?
It's an indoor playground, is what it is.
Well, it's not the time or place. What is she referring to? Not the time or place for what?
I think because there's a ton of kids there. I have no idea.
This man hasn't done anything to solicit her rage yet.
He does have a cutoff shirt on, and he's jacked, so that might
what
be
a piece of shit.
might be.
This lady's probably all horned up. Doesn't realize it.
Yeah, get in my car now.
I'm just here because of my daughter, Bert.
Right. You need to leave.
Yeah, right. You're probably here to molest children.
Your kind leaves their kids when they're young. We know that.
Hey, here's another. Maybe this is where they're being progressive.
Yeah.
If you see a gentleman of color tattooed with a cutoff shirt, is your first instinct he's here to rape the children? What is she protecting them from? All getting robbed, or does she think there's like a molestation element?
I mean, she's got to be onto something. She got.
Yeah, well, yeah. Here's the problem with doing this segment: is Craig thinks this lady is saving the town.
I can't believe she let him in the door.
Craig's like, "Who's this hero?"
Take you out. What's it going to be?
She's already escalated this to the highest extent.
Worst.
Go tell security. I'll wait.
I am not joking.
Called out.
I really will.
I'm going to stay with my daughter,
All
you
right.
bitch.
Suit yourself. Tried to warn you.
You know what happens when law enforcement comes near you.
He puts her knee on his neck. He's like, all right, that's it.
Excuse me. There's a man over there and he keeps watching.
Excuse me, security. There's a black over there.
You know what's very funny is the security guard didn't even ask questions. He just ran.
Oh, Jesus, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Excuse me, sir. Why are you here? I already told her.
Sir, you know this is a segregated playground.
Hey, baby girl.
Can you please go down the side with me? Please, please, please.
What?
Daddy's kind of big.
His daughter's white, by the way.
His daughter's white?
The look on this lady's face is very funny.
Yeah, Luke's.
Let's slide, baby girl. How about you go get your slide and I'll watch, okay?
Okay.
You see, that's my daughter, Brittany. Sorry for the misunderstanding. Have fun.
But she's white.
Hope you're
Next time,
happy.
don't judge someone before you get to know them.
Now, hold on. Here's what I'll say. You think the lesson is right there, right?
Yep.
How much longer is this video?
There's 8 more minutes. There's 8 more
You
minutes.
think we've learned the lesson of don't judge a book by its cover in that moment? But we've got a long way to go here.
Yeah.
I still don't understand. Did you adopt her or something?
I don't think that's any of your business.
Well, lady, no shit. Did you adopt her or something? No, actually, she defied genetics, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's true.
That's how I have this lily white daughter, and I am a black man.
Gigantic black man, too.
Well, that's a shame.
Oh, wait, go back. What a shame.
Oop, I didn't go back far enough here.
Okay.
I still don't understand. Did you adopt her or something?
I don't think that's any of your business. But have a blessed day.
It is not your business.
No.
Well, that's a shame.
What did you say?
I said it's a shame. Brittany probably would have had a much better life.
Oh, God.
Oh, my
Had she been
God.
adopted.
This guy, clearly, I gotta say,
Is that so?
roughly 100% of kids put up for adoption are better off with the family that adopted them because those parents either weren't able to or didn't want to take on the burden of parenthood. So automatically, a child that's adopted is in a better scenario than they would have been.
It would have been very funny if you did have a black daughter, though, and this lady was like, did you pay to get in here?
This lady will stop at nothing. Like, they've given her every opportunity to not be racist. And she's like, it's in my bones. I don't know how to stop it.
How you figure?
Well, to start with, she would have a mother and a father.
Oh, shit. Jesus.
And a broken home.
Listen, I know it's not the stereotype, but I know she's missing one of you parents. Clearly the mom's not in the picture.
Look around. What do you see? Moms playing with their children. I'm sure
This is a gay black dad. I'm
going
to lose it.
Here with her today.
Not some limp dick man. Not some limp dick father playing with their children. Like a pussy.
This is very realistic.
Now, she's being critical of this man because he's being an attentive father. That's her criticism.
He's not even doing anything, but he's just standing there like all the other parents.
This man has done literally nothing. If this were racism, I'd be screaming from the mountaintops. We've got a massive problem in this country. If this is what people are dealing with out there, I'm going to be more proactive.
Unless she's working and you're just a freeloader.
Wow.
Ooh.
This just keeps getting better.
Oh, also, lady, what are you doing at the park then? I don't understand.
She's
reloading?
With all those tattoos.
You just seem to know everything about me, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
How would you?
This can't be about the tattoos.
Right. There's no way I forgot that aspect of it. Just because I'm tattooed. It's like, no. I think there's some deeper issues, maybe historic issues that are playing into this.
She said, "You're kind."
Yeah, this lady's a racist and he's giving her an out. That's how sweet this man is, by the way. That he's like, oh, it's because I have tattoos.
This lady definitely has some stupid gay phrase on her collarbone tattooed. And she's just not showing it off.
The cops are always pulling me over because of this tattoo. I mean, they're following me around stores, making sure I don't steal anything. It's these I wish I could have them removed.
I'm walking down the sidewalk. Someone catches a glimpse of this tattoo. They're on the other side of the street.
George Zimmerman followed me that time because I'm all tatted up.
Justin Trudell, $5. The best part of the video is when Craig comes in and asks this woman if this guy is bothering her.
Hey, lady, let's get out of here. Craig wants to take her on a date.
How do you get the balls to actually say this?
You know what I love about you, babe, is your honesty.
I'm calling her babe immediately.
You're always saying what everyone's thinking.
My head pokes out of the ball pit, and I'm just like, my God.
Like if I
beautiful specimen.
Husband. And my husband is doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing.
I'm just a tattooed up gay black guy.
He just got a job as vice president of a top construction company.
Is that a position at the construction company?
What was it again?
He's vice president of a top construction company.
I don't know, but I hope it turns out that this guy owns that construction company.
Well, Craig, you're 2 for 2 this week.
Oh, Jesus.
Hopefully some people don't know what I mean by that, and we'll keep going.
So, you don't need to worry about him.
Oh, that's so
Can me and
funny.
Brittany go get ice cream after this? Please, please?
No, sweetheart. I don't think you should be friends with her.
Because even though she's white, she has the taint of black on her.
The only reason you're, I guess I won't. I'll save it for the big announcement. Apparently, I ruined.
But she's literally like, listen, I'll tell you how racist I am. This white child has a black adopted parent, and we're not going to let her over the house.
And your father's waiting for us outside. We need to go.
You don't have to take it out on the kids.
Daddy.
She just says the N-word.
Nothing, baby girl. Everything's okay.
My head pops up. What's up?
Get some ice cream now.
What a great dad.
So what kind of flavor you gonna get? I seen you eyeing that raspberry the other day.
Oh, you rascal. You lovable black man.
Oops. Said you getting 2 scoops.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
My God, he's with a white woman?
It was,
disgracing God again.
This lady goes up to the wife and is like, how could you?
Ma'am, look out. He's following you now.
Pearson, stay in the car. I'll be right back.
Oh my God, she's going to go up to him.
Now this all makes sense.
Not again.
Do you know her, Raymond?
No, just ignore her. Come on.
So you're Brittany's
The
biological.
wife in that moment would have to be like, that's a little, what do you mean, no? Clearly you know her.
This lady just can't wrap her head around adoption or interracial couples.
But, and can I say also,
both?
They didn't set this in 1960.
Oh, it's like yesterday.
Yeah.
This is how every commercial looks. Is this?
Yeah, right.
No, that's not it.
All right. Well, whatever your situation is, may I advise you to be careful. Judging from your car, you do pretty
He's like,
well.
listen, I have to go out of my way. It's really a reflex to be this racist. If you could just let me vent, it's something I got to get out before I get home to my husband.
Make sure he's with you for the right reasons. You know what I
That white pussy, right, brother?
Honey, can you go to the car, please? You see, I don't normally let stuff like this bother me, but you're taking this way too far. It just ain't that.
Buddy. You should let stuff like this bother you.
This should bother you, yeah.
This is not sweating the small stuff. This
You know-
is the most aggressive act I've ever witnessed.
You know, your daughter's getting discriminated against for being white.
This woman has tried to divide your family upwards of 4 times now.
4 or 5 times, tried to get you arrested, beat up by security.
No, this is not like, oh, they cut me off in traffic, but I'm going to let it go and be the bigger man. No, this is an egregious offense that this woman is committing.
Daughter?
What are you going to do? Attack me?
Like you people do?
And I'm calling the police.
What, are you going to attack me at a disproportionate rate?
I'm going to call the police, and you know they shoot on sight.
Oh, what are you going to do? What Anthony Cumia tweets about all the time? I hope Anthony's doing all right. He's in the hospital.
I think he's out. Or he's at least tweeting again.
Oh, good. Oh, thank God.
Hope he had a come to Jesus moment over it. It seemed like.
Anthony, you and Anthony would be fist fighting for this lady.
I think she's too old for both of us.
So unless you want to go to prison, which I'm sure you've already been.
Again, because of your tattoos, to be clear.
Yeah, you're just talking tattoos.
Yeah, statistically, jails are filled with tattooed gentlemen at a disproportionate rate.
Is this this is only titled the tattoo thing strictly so YouTube didn't rip it off, right?
Oh, maybe, but they've kept that facade up throughout the episode.
Yeah.
Well, not really. On her end, it's thinly veiled. But he does. He says, "Oh, because I have tattoos."
No, it's because you're black. I am.
He asked me earlier if I adopted Brittany. Not that I'm eager to give you any type of explanation, but I know you're dying to know. You see,
Brittany had a tough childhood. One night, her grandmother was watching her while her parents were out. Instead of coming home, well, they got in a car accident.
Oh my God.
And neither one of them survived.
2 tattoos just stole my truck.
Overnight,
That is a very funny
she wanted
comment.
to stay with her grandma. Her grandmother wasn't able to take care of her by herself. So
This is a
instead,
sad story. Certainly, this will invoke some compassion.
Yeah.
to make things even worse, Brittany never had a good placement situation. She went from home to home, and each time she was treated so badly.
Let's wrap it up, buddy. The pity party's not working for you.
That's why I'm
we
not
were on your side already.
When she finally arrived at my home, I could tell for the first time I looked in her eyes how much pain she went through.
So clearly, this is where obviously wins are over. But let's just
In
watch
that
it.
moment, I decided I was going to adopt her.
I
and
got
treat her
tattoos
like my
after
own
I
daughter.
adopted her. Just to protect her. Let me guess, your
So you
tattoos
see-
are unregistered.
I did adopt her. And I given her the best life imaginable.
Look, if what you're saying is true, then I am sorry
And
that
I
Brittany
doubt
had
it.
to go through all that.
Hold on.
But it doesn't change my opinion about it. You're probably using this poor woman.
That's what's great. Well, pause for a second. She's even gonna give him like, well, listen, that's quite a story. But I still don't think you should be allowed at our parks or in our schools or to sit at the front of the bus, you know? Again, because of your tattoos.
Yeah.
Serious
this
right
is. I'm very curious where
That's
this
all
is
you have
going.
to say after everything I just told you?
It's the truth. The only reason you became a foster parent was so you could collect a paycheck. And then when you decided to adopt Brittany,
This is based on nothing that this man has done.
The tattoos, Mike. Can't forget those.
Again, the statistics that are related to those tattoos, I understand.
I'm pretty sure most people have tattoos at this point.
That's the other thing. Yeah, again, it's set in modern times, and yeah, but people have much crazier tattoos than they're all sleeved up and.
you lost your source of income, right?
Barbara. Sorry I'm late. I had some work to wrap up at the office.
It's all right. I'm leaving now. Pearson's in the car.
I'm just here with this freak. You probably don't even acknowledge him as a human being.
This guy's her husband's excited to see him. Ray.
What are you doing here?
You two know each other?
Do we know each other? Raymond's my boss.
My God!
Of the construction company I work at.
How is that possible?
Barely, no, hardly. I guess it's a good thing I run my own company.
It'd be great if this ended with her filing divorce papers because he works for a black guy.
Yeah. Well, actually, if anything, she's gonna start fucking him soon.
I didn't realize how low you were on the totem pole.
It's a tiny company, right?
Right there. I bought that for her last birthday.
But yeah, birthday's not helping you in this situation. You're giving her more fuel.
A car? As a birthday present?
Mm-hmm.
She definitely wants to fuck this guy
What's
now.
the least I could do being on drive a Rolls Royce?
It's just there. That's funny.
I keep it wherever I go in case someone is racist and I can show them a lesson.
Why'd they drive separately to this place?
Okay, I'm really confused. Sir, did my wife say something to you?
No, it's just a little
Imagine being this guy and not knowing your wife is this racist.
I know.
Like, listen, you know, love does crazy things to people. So maybe you're in a relationship with someone like this. But you would know, your first thought would be, oh no, she's talking to a black guy.
Right.
I have to run over there. You would know this about your wife if she was like this.
Yeah. This is a Fox News mom that Shane Gillis was talked about.
Yeah, right. You don't. This is why you don't want a Fox News mom.
Ain't that right, Barbara?
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said any of that.
What did you do?
And only now I realize that, not the 7 outs you gave me throughout our interaction.
This doesn't affect my employment in any way.
Of course not, John.
Oh, what a cuck. She's never going to be able to fuck this guy again.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? He is realizing what happened right there because they didn't say anything, and he goes, "I know what happened."
I hope this doesn't affect my employment. I hope that the fact that she set your people back 50 years.
If I divorce her, can I get a raise, please?
Your wife. Hope you learn you should never judge someone
before you get to know them.
Lady, don't jump in now.
Yeah, see you in the office tomorrow, John?
Yes, sir.
Ray, do you think your daughter still wants to have ice cream with ours?
Watermelon, I assume.
You want some chimneys on that?
Yes, I'll get whatever grape flavor you ask for.
I know you're. But let's not take it out on our girls.
Oh, the tides have turned.
I like that she's still kind of like, hey, listen, I'm still a racist, but let's let the kids play.
Can I keep my job if I let you sleep with my wife?
I'll follow you.
Okay.
Oh, great.
The whole time she's driving there, she's gonna catch a glimpse of him in the rear view and be like,
So that was, again, all credit to my buddy Royce Lopez and the fine people at Daywave Radio, which I believe you can listen to every weekday on Rumble. I think they're exclusive over there, so check them out.
They're no longer doing
Royce showed me that,
partial
and I watched a bunch when I've been on, and they're always. That's one of the least absurd ones I've found, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to start off easy for you.
Okay, that was fantastic.
Okay, good. Did people seem to enjoy that? Because we could implement it as a somewhat regular. When we got nothing, we could turn to Dahr Man for a few laughs.
They can say all they want. The chat was popping during that.
Okay, good.
I'll say.
All right. I think that's pretty much it for today. No Hackride game. He's decided he doesn't care for us anymore.
Yep, he doesn't like us.
Perhaps Boney will have a game next week.
Boney's definitely going to be around. Maybe doing the intro. Who knows?
Well, and that's one thing I don't know what we're going to be talking about or anything next week. I guarantee I have awakened Boney.
He's gonna have the morning wood segment for the show.
So we'll see. I don't know. Anything else before we start closing up shop here?
Blindmike.net.
Go to blindmike.net if you'd be so kind. Become a patron, become a YouTube member, or just support the show for free. All the links are up there at blindmike.net. Blind Mike Project, as well as Why You Laughing and Who Are These Socials, if you want links for that. Subscribe on YouTube. A lot of people watch these live streams that aren't subscribed. Make sure you subscribe and tap the notification bell. We appreciate it. And blindmike.net is where all that is. And you can go to verygoodshow.org where racism like we just saw, it doesn't even come close. The boys at Very Good Show will have that dwarfed by Monday, I presume.
This is tattoo rich.
Yeah. I've heard of rich. This is tattoo rich.
That is very funny. But yes, verygoodshow.org. Thank you.
Is Rubbed Out coming out now?
Yeah, there's one episode out. We're recording another one on Wednesday.
Okay. How often does this released?
Every 2 or 3 weeks, I think. Slow at first.
Keep the people guessing. That's
yeah.
Spirit.
Yeah, it was supposed to be last week, but someone was sick. That would be me.
What's the next topic? Or what was the first topic?
The first topic was Andrew Bagby. He was this guy that went to medical school, and his wife or girlfriend or whatever the hell she was would drive to his house like he lived down the street, but from Illinois to New York, and just show up. And she ended up putting like 6 shots in his head, and then killed herself and their kid.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was really fucked up. And then the next one was voted on the Patreon is some cement tomb lady in Japan that Matt said is going to blow our mind. So we'll see how that goes, but it's fun.
If there's one guy that knows how to blow your mind, it's Matt Sanford.
He's actually in his element on this show, so he
good.
speaks a lot more. Yeah.
Well, go check all that out. Verygoodshow.org is where you can find all that stuff.
Yeah, I did vocals for his band this weekend.
Follow. You did?
Yeah.
Are you a singer?
I scream. It's like a hardcore band.
Boy, I cannot picture that.
You want to hear it?
Go give it a shot.
Let me look. I have the video here.
I thought you were gonna do it for us. I don't
No,
really care.
fuck no. It'll
No.
blow.
All right, that's fine then.
All right. All right.
What was I saying? Oh, follow Hackride on YouTube and Twitter and everything. And for now, I guess follow Boney.
Boney the Boner on YouTube.
I'm recommending, my official recommendation is that they try one YouTube channel first. Get it to a good number. But it exists, so go follow Boney the Boner. Maybe this will pop off. Maybe this will surpass Hackride. Boney the Boner.
There's always a method to his madness that seems to pay off, so who knows?
Well, what I await is when Hackride and Boney the Boner have a disagreement, and then they have to split up, and we have to choose sides.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how the partnership of Boney and Hackride works out.
That'll be something.
Go subscribe to all of that. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. I don't want to shame you the way John does about not paying me. Support the show for free or whatever. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you guys next time.
And we have a mean transition.